I love you, chat Hass.
What's going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening, afternoon, pre-noon, no matter where you are in the world. I'm Hasan Piker, and this is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live
4 months
from sunny California, Los Angeles. Folks, we are live once again, boys, girls, NBs. It is yet another wonderful day. Tuesday, January 19th, 2021, 11:54 a.m. And it's one day out of the inauguration, folks. One day out from the inauguration. One day out from the content well drying up. One day out from officially hitting brunch and never looking back. One day out from America being solved. America being saved by the wonderful Joseph Robinette Biden, of course.
Ravens lost Sag.
One day out from COVID being solved. One day out from, dare I say,
6 months owning the list.
racism being solved. In and of itself. It's completely just racism is done. Pack your bags. COVID is over. We won Zalul. Whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that's it. We did it. We fixed it. We fixed all the problems by electing Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. into a position of power, into the highest office in all the land. And that's all it is. Might as well just pack my bags up right now. Might as well just pack my bags up right now. What will I talk about the next 4 years? What will I talk about? Terrifying proposition. Yeah, GG COVID no re. Might as well be my last stream. Just kidding, folks. American politics is perpetually fucked. There's always shit to talk about. Now, of course, in a perfect world where all of these issues have been solved, and there isn't much to talk about, then I would, become a professional full-time React Lord / gaming Andy. That would be that'd be the glorious outcome. But I'll pack it up. But we do not live in such a world. We live in a world where things are still fucked up very much. And while Republicans, at least smart ones like Mitch McConnell, are now saying the bare minimum, which is the truth, by the way, saying the truth is the bare minimum. I need you to recognize that.
Stop playing with me like I didn't teach Drake everything he knows. Y'all ain't hear Drake on his first song. That's Soldier. That's my bars. He copied my whole fucking flow word for word, bar for bar.
Will you be watching the inauguration on stream tomorrow? Of course. Tomorrow I will be waking up early. Tomorrow I will be waking up early to watch the inauguration. And stream early as well to watch the inauguration. The funniest part about it, of course, is that it will be the most sleeper fucking content. Like, I will watch the inauguration tomorrow.
Facial hair together, Hassel has buff.
But it will literally be the most sleeper shit. It's the Biden inauguration. Like,
PogChamp 1 day out.
He's being sworn in at 9 a.m. your time. No, I know. It will be insanely sleeper, which is what a lot of people wanted. They wanted politics to be sleeper. They wanted politics to be sleeper so they no longer had to pay attention to it.
Shalom from New Jersey.
Now, of course, the counter to that is, well, it's not like when people were paying attention to it when Trump was president. Think about that. When Trump was president. Isn't that wonderful to say?
1 year of subs.
It is a fun little thing to say, though.
Any of it.
God, my hair is fucking trash. Anyway, even though politics wasn't really sleeper when Trump was president,
Yo.
It's not like people were paying attention to it for the right things. They were paying attention to the dumb things, the aesthetic things, silly things.
The world is saved.
The racing factories will be all shut down after tomorrow. Joe Biden's going to kill out the economy when he cuts our massive racing production. Just saw Hank on Racy's stream. He says hello. Oh yeah, Hank, that other guy. Yeah, he tunes in suspiciously when I'm not around. I've yet to meet this Hank fella. Hear a lot about him though. I heard he's the real mayor of Rustopia. Saw him on Canute too. That's crazy. Y'all are crazy. That's wild. That's weird.
America.
Fog you 3 months. Biden gonna legalize democracy. Biden's gonna legalize ranch, brother. I've never seen Hank and Hasan in the same room before. Curious? Ask no more questions like that. I will say thanks to your awesome role playing on Rust. My friends and I joined the role playing server, and to say the least, I've put in 24 hours in the last 48. How seriously, it's been great watching you play Rust. Hope y'all got the tetanus shots to hear me Rust all day today. No. There will be Rust later, of course. And I want to make sure that it's maximum pog content for all of you. And what I mean by that is, like, I want to make sure that you guys, the politics frogs and the React Andes, are getting something fun to look at while we're playing Rust. So what I want to do is, like, focus a little bit more on roleplay. While I have become a much better shooter in the game itself, overall, I think that's not good enough for a lot of people that are watching, and I will be focusing on doing more roleplay and stuff like that. Make shit happen. I've become a much better shooter in Rust. I'm very bad at shooting in that game. I've gotten so much better. I think I've gotten to a point where I could maybe even do an oil rig run by myself. Anyway, this is the personal news point. We're banning gambling in Rust. I, as mayor, have officially banned gambling on the server. And by that I mean we put a wall around it.
Happy 3 months.
But of course, I'm arming both sides of the conflict. As Ray C is
Hasan, thank you for
opening up a therapy place with Bedicey. And if we ban gambling all right, then the wheelheads won't be able to go to gambling therapy. Why are you playing with your hair so much? I'm triggered. I'm just annoyed. I think it looks like shit. Have you seen Space Boy's Rust rap? I have not. What the fuck?
Space Boy with the LAPD, show me some hands. You ain't gonna show me some hands. You never show us some hands. All you do is walk on us.
Jay.
LAPD, and I know you're scared of me. L15 crew, only people ever there for me to serve and protect. More like get shot and die. This world I detest, man, this shit make me cry. We got cultists and cats, now you reaching for the sky. Cause this justice, baby, it be stretching too far and wide. Las Vegas, man, they hate us, but they know that they need us. They run by a cult trying to harvest and slay us. Better watch out for Miss Kip, you know he will need us. We the PD, we not Mounties, call us up and place a bounty. This is Southside Rush County, man, they up north getting rowdy.
Cartel motors on the strip, hopping Audi off the rip.
This
has made me decide on political science on my major. Thank you.
Our curator Lily with the museum on the hilly. Evil bitch really saying all cats is silly. But I know really how she really like an evil bitch. Cause she tryna sick killers on the cats. Tryna hit them with a gat. Tryna leave them on their back. Lily tryna kill the cats. Lily hate the cats. Lily hate the cats. Hey, Lily hate the cats. Lily hate the cats. Hey, Lily hate the cats. Lily hate the cats. Five is that, but you're not. Betting all your scrap, bet you got no shot. You pull up to bandit camp and you get shot. You ain't got no luck with evens or odds. And you lost it all, that's including the plot. And boy,
Bunch
you
of
got
chatty
no
guys are
scrap,
so
can't
cute.
sweeten
I
the
love
pot.
hanging out with all of you in the offline hours.
You
You guys both look and smell great, and you are all has the both inside and out.
from the sky,
I love you, and I love our
funded
community.
helicopter
And Hasan
taxpayer
too,
supply.
I guess.
Tucking police be corrupt. Better
Thanks for the
check that
great
mirror,
content
my
and good
guy. You
times,
ride
Tony Hass.
forward on the beat. I ain't police spitting heat. You backdoor dealing, politicking, posted in the streets. Me, that's where I be. And you know I stay
Hey
reppin'
Hasan,
big
I
boy.
really
Ain't
appreciate you
picking up
opening me
that
up to
bank.
politics
He
in
the
this
true
weird year.
mayor, Mike.
Much love,
Hand
brother, take
got a
care.
pull right.
Love you,
But he
chat.
legalize a thing, cause I think he a libertarian. And all your parties should be scared of him. He got
Huggy.
some weird ideas, and I think I heard a pig squeal. Heard him yelling, stop the steal. I don't know about that. That's kind of weird. We should probably look into that. Yeah, maybe we should investigate. Maybe this mayor we're backing is actually like...
Love you, SM. Happy
you still
6
recording?
months. Hee.
It's so dumb. Yo, people listen to Blady unironically and then say this shit sucks, okay? I mean, this is if you like Blady then or Blade or whatever the fuck it's called, then you have to say this is good. Okay? You physically cannot exist in a space where you listen to Blade or Drain Gang or whatever the fuck and then turn around and say this is not good. Okay? Take that back. Take that back. Trump departure events details seems like it's going to be a real soiree. Wait, I thought he wasn't going to do the fancy schmancy shit. White House sends invitation for Trump's departure event, Joint Base Andrews, starting at 8 a.m. Wednesday. Guess most arrive between 6 a.m. and 7:15. May bring up to 5 other people. Most wear masks. The invites say, according to one share by me,
Feel about tomorrow.
me by an ex-Trump official. Trump's ceremony scheduled for 8 a.m. at the military base where the outgoing president will make his final departure aboard Air Ward 1. He'll be the first living U.S. president in more than a century to choose not to attend the regular exchange
Best
of
6
power.
months ever.
It's difficult to find folks who are planning to go to Trump's departure events early tomorrow. Ex-National Security Advisor John Bolton were invited and they're not going. Same with ex-Chief John Kelly and ex-Coms. Among those who have an RSVP for Trump's send-off and aren't expected to attend, VP. Jesus Christ. And aren't expected to attend are VP Mike Pence, House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy, Senate GOP leader Mitch McConnell, and a whole slew of Republicans. Aides expect some MAGA superfans, though. They're doing it, dude. Oh, no. I mean, I think he set it up in the morning on purpose.
Right as Z has left.
Like, they had to have. Damn, that sucks, dude. Yo, that's so sad. Because, like, this is the type of shit he cares about. So, this is actually the type of shit that Trump cares about, which is, you know, like fanfare.
10 months
And
ago.
people talking about how much they love him. That kind of hurts. That kind of hurts to think about from Trump's POV, but it's so good. It's so sweet to think about if you're like a normal human being. It's set up in the morning because he isn't president anymore in the afternoon, lol. That's true. But I legitimately thought Trump was going to... By the way, I know that Trump couldn't have done an Air Force One send-off technically post-afternoon because afternoon, new president, right? But I legitimately thought that Trump would just do a counter-programming for it and like really stack the decks, even as a loser, with all of his fucking loser MAGA hogs and have like a massive event. I literally thought he was going to do... Okay, I am banning that person who keeps spamming brunch. Here. Fucking 9 minutes ago that dono is. Holy shit. Okay. Gonna save those funds for the looming investigations to come. He demanded a big send-off and he wanted to do it, want to be done while he's still president. Else he would have needed permission from Biden to fly on Air Force One. Right now, Biden is on his way to DC on a private aircraft. Obama let Trump use Air Force One in 2017.
Going to be the most Pogo time of the year.
It'd be pretty funny if Joe Biden didn't let him use Air Force One. At Obama's inauguration, the whole crowd clapped, booed, laughed when Bush flew off. Millions of people hating him off. Yeah, except all of those people now love Bush. And Obama himself literally said that the crowd was spoiled children for hating George W. Bush. One of the worst administrations, if not literally still the worst administration in contemporary American history. Okay? Do you understand?
Pee-pee poo-poo.
Trump is worse, sorry. First of all, it's not even Trump, but Reagan is up there too. It's like Reagan and Trump are fighting off alongside one another. But Bush is the worst. Bush's administration is the worst, sorry. Like, the reason why we are in a perpetual state of war is because of George W. Bush. Like, no president is single-handedly responsible for all the bloodshed. American imperialism is a continuous and unfortunately well-oiled machine, a self-sustaining one. But George W. Bush's administration really accelerated it to the degree that it did, where we are in a perpetual state of war, and that's not going to change anytime soon. And therefore, yes, his administration and his damages are worse, are significantly worse. Have you ever watched George Galloway's views on these guys?
Daddy.
No.
Grateful new lefty here, hassle.
Anyway, let's welcome the Normans in the daycare.
Hassle, hassle, hassle.
One day out from inauguration. Trump is sad. Sad face. www.twitch.tv/HasanAbi. Okay, that wasn't my best tweet. That wasn't my best welcoming the Normans, but true. If Al Gore would have won in 2000, 9/11 most likely would have been responded to very differently. I mean, Al Gore did win in 2000, or technically, Al Gore should have won in 2000, except Republicans, which are not different from Donald Trump, and I have to remind you once again, literally stole the election in Florida. So for those of you who weren't around back then, because you're Zoomers, that's what happened. which is why I always say this isn't just fucking Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just a manifestation of all of the worst elements of the Republican Party that the Republican Party has utilized to win elections and at least, like, I don't know, get people agitated enough to go out and vote for them for the past decade, or for the past couple of decades. I was going to say century.
PogChamp. Hassle.
Trump's farewell video will be releasing at 4 p.m. Eastern, which is in 45 minutes at the top of the hour. He already fucking recorded his release. He already recorded his farewell video, like released it already. So you know shit is it's loser town, okay? Not even live. Not even fucking live, dude.
There.
EYT reacted to your video? What?
Mute your phone, man. There.
What do we think?
KomodoHype PogChamp.
What do we think? 1 week? 2 week? It wasn't that long of a clip, so I'll just give him 1 day. 3 days? Okay, Fizz, you hit it then. Have you read the daily review of PogChamp? So this is how PogChamp dies. Every PogChamp so far captures surprise and excitement. Basically, the whole thing is Austin Ox. Get a job, man. Head cut out accurate, no borders. Here's a side-by-side. It is done. Perhaps the last PogChamp we will ever see. This experiment had its ups and downs. Mostly downs, but it was a fun one with this. Twitch seems to have coded the KomodoHypers. Ceded to the KomodoHypers. This is the white flag of surrender. Acknowledging a better replacement cannot be found. Is it due to the harassment any new face of PogChamp received, regardless of how well embodied Pog? Is Twitch too tired to not even go full month on the bit? We will never know. But this, to me, as a professional, seems like the end. Farewell, PogChamp. Long live KomodoHype. We won.
Al-Salam alaikum Hasan, can I get a peepo baba mashallah? Al-Salam alaikum Hasan, can I get a peepo baba mashallah?
Peepo baba mashallah, mashallah. Okay.
6 months in this I love this community love from a Moroccan frog hassle.
Oh god, why is Feinstein trending? Doesn't appear on board with punishing Senator Ted Cruz or Hawley for the role in challenging the Electoral College? What?
On whether or not Trump pardons any of his
I think the Senate is a place of freedom and people come here to speak their piece.
That if he pardoned these people, more banks and businesses would ban him.
When she was trending for a brief moment, I thought she died. Okay?
Radicalizing my cat.
To be fair, to me for saying that, I don't think that that's that unreasonable to assume. She is literally 7 million years old. Okay? So it's not shocking. Like, Senator Feinstein will probably die before she carries out the end of her term, despite the fact that she says, like, she's going to run again or something. Okay?
Dumpy is leaving the White House. No more cummies, no more cummies.
She literally has been outed by her own, like, well, anonymous staffers and people in the Hill for not being all there anymore. Like, literally just not having the full mental capacity to legislate. So it's wild to me that she is still in office. It is so wildly selfish.
Trump be like, I enjoyed my stay XQCL. It was good to lock up immigrants even if it's just for the day omega lol.
Did you hear about Komiko? I heard she got banned. I asked her why, but she hasn't responded yet. You are being sexist and ageist? Yes. If saying an 87-year-old senator,
I won't even be able to rage
if
tweet
saying
afterwards.
someone who's 87 years old who is reportedly experiencing cognitive decline is sexist and ageist, then what you're basically saying is sexism and ageism is good. So I don't think that's a position that you want to be in. Like, I literally don't think you should want to be in that position where you are basically saying that that's sexist and ageist. I think the smart thing to do in that circumstance is to say, this is not sexist nor ageist.
Last day of having a
because you are legitimizing sexism and ageism in that circumstance.
Is the way the founding fathers intended.
What about Chuck Grassley, 87, checkmate misogynist? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, big fan of Chuck Grassley. I don't think anyone who's 87 should be in Congress. They shouldn't. Yeah, I'm ableist too. I'm literally ableist when it comes to representatives. And I don't mean like fucking, you can't be in a wheelchair and be in Congress. I mean, like, if you are experiencing cognitive decline, if you have Alzheimer's, if you have dementia, then no, I don't think you should be a representative. I'm sorry. Not the same for like autism or anything, obviously. But if you literally have fucking Alzheimer's, then no, you should not have that kind of power.
George Bush does not care about black people has weird.
If you consider that to be ableist, then, suck my cock, I guess. Like, sorry. Yeah, I'm fucking ableist.
"5 months since I invaded Normandy and hit the sub button has been..."
Trump expected to issue final wave of pardons from Fox News, and of course, loving that those pardons feature potentially Joe Exotic. A QAnon-related conspiracy theory says Barack Obama was arrested. The evidence, a video of Barack Obama touring Nelson Mandela's former prison. America Divided podcast. Barack Obama arrested. 1.9K likes. It's like kind of funny. It's kind of funny thinking about. It's kind of funny thinking about a world in which like there are people. I mean, this is at the edges of the conspiracies. Like, this is a little too much, right? But it's kind of funny to think about people who are like. People who are out there right now who like legitimately think Barack Obama was arrested. You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty funny. Just think, like, what is that guy doing? Like, his worldview is so distorted, so wrong, so incorrect. And speaking of those guys, here, this is a perfect segue into MyPillow, CEO of MyPillow. His name is MyPillow, CEO of MyPillow. He's on the Right Side Broadcasting Network, which we sometimes watch as well, talking about how, the big liberal corporations are hurting him.
Thanks for the content. That by 20-fold. I have one of the worst. I found out yesterday. I made it to the top. It's called Sleeping Giant. SleepingGiant.com, whatever. They're a watchdog group that claim to be. They're out of Silicon Valley, the most evil people on the planet. And these guys get hired, and they're attacking not only MyPillow, many other companies out there, but they're attacking my vendors. They go to people. I just got off the phone with Bed Bath & Beyond. They're dropping MyPillow. Just got off the phone not 5 minutes ago. Kohl's, all these different places. So you know what? If you're out there, maybe these guys don't understand. They're scared, like a Bed Bath & Beyond. They're scared. They were good partners. In fact, I told them, you guys come back anytime you want.
Honestly, MyPillow could be the only guy on the planet who makes less sense off crack than he did on crack. Okay? Like, it's wild to say. And listen, like, addiction is not funny. Like, it's devastating. but he is literally the only person who is worse off crack than he was on crack. Because honestly, I don't know what he was like when he was on crack, when he was addicted to crack cocaine. But like, there's no way he could have been this crazy. You understand? That's a tweet. I'm tweeting that out, by the way. Holy shit, that's good. I was thinking about that while I was pouring my coffee. Oh man.
But it's not their fault that they're scared, because they don't realize these are fake people that are, on there going, if we're gonna boycott your store if you don't drop MyPillow, and they're, so, magnify that by 20-fold. I have one of the worst. I found out yesterday. I made it to the top. It's called Sleeping Giant. Machine people, these Dominion, these SOS, SAS machines or whatever. They're threatening to.
MyPillow CEO might be the only person who's
we won PogChamp.
Worse after beating a crack addiction. Is that good? There's a better way to reword that. Bad optics, man. Shut the fuck up. That's funny as shit.
Thank you.
Bad optics, sweaty.
Hassle.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the MyPillow CEO might be the only person who's worse after beating crack. There you go.
Thank you.
Or they did. I think they're going after. But you know what?
So I can finally push
That's
back
great. I welcome them to come after me, because I got all the evidence. Then they'll finally see it, right?
Absolutely. The election
and and if you're a business owner out there, don't believe in those little bots and trolls.
Bro.
I'm just reading some notes here we got from some viewers. You answered one earlier about Sidney Powell. You've been communicating with her, so she's obviously still on board, right? We can check that off.
Yeah, Sydney. Yeah, Sydney's been hard to reach. She's been working night and day. Her and I talk at least twice a day. I kind of go around the loop and talk to every.
Okay.
He's talking to Sydney twice a day, bro. Like Trump has left the building, and these motherfuckers are still keeping it going. It's like the party's over, dude. People already said, like, I enjoyed my stay XQCL. That's what Trump said. Okay.
Hey Hasan, thank you for all the
commentary
and daycare.
Meanwhile, this guy is still trying to keep it going. He's like, come on.
Rainbow video. I think you'd like it.
Come on, let's just keep it going. Keep the party going. Sydney's still here. We're still dancing. Come on. Like, bro, Trump is out.
To keep doing it,
he's gone, brother.
You have to let go.
How much can they milk it, you think? That's kind of how you know they're legit, though. Like, this guy is just to the core. He's delusional, right? Okay. There's like sharks. There's sharks out there. There's grifters out there. Maybe even some of these dudes, a lot of these dudes start off as grifters. A lot of these dudes are grifters. But I think that
it's my birthday today. Thanks for shaping my political.
I think that MyPillow, like, he is, and Sidney Powell even, like, I think they are just straight up off the hinges. Like, they are done. Like, they're, I don't know if they're even milking at this point, or if they're just like legitimately a Trumpian fundamentalists.
Australians can say the word. I can be an Australian. Let me put my Australian cosplay on. Oh, I can't. I gotta secure my ground harness so I don't fall into the sun. Mate? Oh, shit.
It's so stupid, dude. Yo, that's so dumb. That's great. I love 39 Daphs, dude. She's so funny. Okay.
People out there, but she said to tell everyone she promises she is going to keep fighting until everybody knows about this machine fraud and that other countries took this election from us. And that's my promise to everybody too. There is no way and she, you know, do we get down? Well, sure, we get down like everyone, because if I'm going, and I had to tell Cindy, you know, we live with no fear. We only fear the Lord. And
to be honest, like, he's probably done some wild shit too. Like, I'm not going to read his book, but like, you know, you can't be like a normal crack addict. You know what I mean? Like, when you get to that stage, like, you've definitely done some cool shit. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder what's the wildest thing he's ever done.
MyPillow Academia.
Like, you know, he's lived, okay? Many of us live 0 lives, okay? MyPillow out here is living like 8 lives. I wonder what he's done. Like, what's the wildest thing he's done? And I don't mean like sucking dick, because that's, you know, there's normal shit. People do that all the time. I don't even mean like stripping copper wire. I mean like
has mods.
I wonder. He's probably had some fun back in the day, is what I'm saying. You know, now he's like talking about Christianity and the Lord, but like I wonder what the wildest thing MyPillow's ever done.
And that's all we can do. And we can, you know, we keep doing. If there's something else that comes in, I do it. You know, we're proactive. We keep trying to get out ahead of this. But because of all the stuff that was done that wasn't normal.
As someone who's overcame an addiction as well, he probably did some insane shit. Yeah, like, it's wild to think about him as someone who was like, was he addicted to meth or crack, by the way? I'm like, I think it was crack. Anyway, I wonder what, like, because you think about him now and who he is now. I wonder what the fucking wildest thing he did. You know, what was wild? Like, did he do an orgy? There's got to be an orgy. Trump is going to release his farewell video. Yeah, I know.
Things fell behind because when you find all fraud.
I mean, his copium. I'm pausing too much, but he basically is. This is his methadone. Okay. Like, if crack was his heroin, this is his methadone.
Since
like,
Biden is about to
whatever this is, what he's doing right now is a substitution for whatever the fuck took the place of crack cocaine in his life. Like, he did not beat it. He just basically substituted for something that's a little bit more manageable. But maybe he's developing some additional problems. Yeah, I wonder if he had, like, he's got to have had an orgy, you know?
Of everything else, you expect a judge to say, wow, that was
making fun of addiction. Dog, the reason why I know so much about addiction is because I myself am a fucking addict. Have you not seen my life?
It's illegal. Let's take these guys out. Yes, Donald Trump wins this state, this state, this state. But that didn't happen. So now all of a sudden, and the machines at one time were going, everybody knew they were off, or at least a lot of people did. When I first heard about them, I did my own math. On November 4th, and I said, this is mathematically impossible or improbable. For sure, improbable, close to impossible. And then I got this guy 4 days ago, he brought it in 100% impossible. And not just in, you know, so.
Yeah, he did his own math. I did my own math. I did my own research. These are really good indicators that the person that you're talking to nowadays, at least, the person that you're talking to might not be there altogether. Or debate me. That's another one.
Latest example of posting your own LOMGLL.
It's just, you know, people talk about same math guy, dream god. Yeah, MyPillow CEO is like, oh, well, I hired a Harvard astrophysicist. Okay. I hired an astrophysicist from this other website that was put up 3 days before I hired him. So, you know, do the math. And Trump actually, he won the election.
I think there's a 2 to 3% chance Donald J. Trump remains in that White House past Wednesday for whatever reason happened.
I clipped this almost 2 years ago. Do you stand
Thank
nice?
you for everything you do. I love you.
4 fucking refugees who are like, who want to pray to God, okay? and I'm going to tell them, fuck you, refugees. I'm going to kick them in the fucking head and go, God is dead, okay? Because I'm up to...
Can you please not donor wall me?
Aw, what's the rest of it? I wish you clipped it enough so I could at least see what the context was on, like, who I was shitting on. You know what I mean?
And whatever God has planned for this great country and this great president. That's just my personal thoughts. I got to go with that.
Yeah. And I want everyone out there to keep the prayers up and for our president. But I will say this: 100%, the truth will be revealed.
MyPillow sounds
when it
like
is,
an Eric
we don't know
Andre
what
character.
happens then. So I don't want everyone out there being so depressed that, okay, what if nothing gets done? And this guy, that's not that inauguration then would be a null and void. I mean, it's not even real when it was done under suspicion.
The funniest thing is, like, his pillows are shit. Like, I bought one as a joke for Will, and we tested it out, and it's dog shit. And they're so expensive too. That's the worst part. I mean, that's why he's got it grifted a little bit. Like, otherwise, MyPillow, this being this much of a fucking Trump stan, is kind of like Walmart throwing up the black fist for Black Lives Matter. Like, he's virtue signaling to his audience. Like, how else is he gonna fucking sell? How else is he gonna sell those ugly ass, terrible ass, not soft ass pillows? Oh, Stalin, like, if you're in the pillow business, and folks, let me tell you, the pillow business is a rough business. But if you're in the pillow business, there's only two ways to go about it. Either you secure the entire advertisement marketplace by doing DR campaigns with literally every podcast, like every podcast on the planet, or you just fucking drink the Trump Kool-Aid and you sell exclusively to the Trump fans by aligning with them politically and in the most psychotic way possible, in the most crazy way possible. Who has a favorite pillow brand? I don't have a favorite pillow brand. I just, like, literally get whatever is on Amazon that when I need a pillow. Or back in the day, I used to just go to Ross Dress for Less and get pillows there. You know what I mean? Like, I just... Shill? Amazon shill? Bro, Amazon is a monopoly, brother. Saying, like... saying that I get something from Amazon, that being considered like being an Amazon shill is like saying using the word Band-Aid or using the word Tylenol instead of aspirin. You know what I mean? Sorry, like, it's just where everyone buys everything because they are a fucking monopoly. Or saying Q-tip, I guess. Yeah. What else? There's a lot of things that Kleenex. Yeah, saying Kleenex. Saying you're Googling something. Saying you're Googling something instead of searching them on your search bar. Tylenol isn't aspirin. Yeah, that wasn't a good one. It's not the same when you actually buy it at Amazon. What do you mean? I think the better argument there is Googling something instead of saying, like, search bar. Like, no one would ever be like, dude, you're a Google shill. Why are you saying Googling something instead of search bar? You know, the funniest thing is, like, even if you're on fucking YouTube, you say, I'm Googling this on YouTube. Or I'm Googling something on another website. Yeah, I Googled it on Bing. Because Google is such a fucking monopoly that they have taken over. They've substituted, in my opinion, they've substituted the word search. You say you're Googling it. I altavisted you on the Netscape and found you are the from Turk. The term you were looking for is proprietary eponym. I have never heard someone say Amazon refer to buying something online from not Amazon. No, when you say you're buying shit online, you don't say I'm Amazoning it, but you most likely are buying it. Statistically speaking, if you're buying something online, there's a 50% chance you're buying it off Amazon. And I think that percentage goes up to 75 to like 90 if you are talking about purchasing something off of a website that is utilizing Amazon web services. So there's a 50% chance that like anything you buy, you're buying off Amazon, or a much larger percentage shot that you're buying it off of at least a website that uses Amazon. This is the first time I've actually heard a real bad take from Hasan. Really? In North America, by the way. I mean, dude, like, guys, I don't know why. In the US, e-commerce is literally 50% Amazon, dude. Or 49%, sorry. I don't know why you're saying it's a bad take. Like, sorry, not 50. It's 49%. Like, fuck. You're right. Damn, my man YouTubed it. Like, maybe you didn't know that that was the thing, and that's why you're saying, like, half of all e-commerce sales that occur in the United States occur on Amazon. Okay? Not only that, but what I was trying to say on top of that was, like, it's virtually impossible for you to not touch a website that isn't at the very least like working with Amazon, AWS specifically. You get it? I don't think a lot of chat understands Amazon's web hosting services host e-commerce, so even if you don't go to Amazon, you can still buy from Amazon. That's exactly what I was trying to make. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Actually, you should have bought them from AliExpress so you could wait 6 to 8 months to get your package, sweaty. Yeah. Oh, I never said buying something online is called Amazoning. No one has ever fucking said that. I literally said the opposite of that. I said no one would ever say you're Amazoning something because you're buying it on online. It's stupid as fuck. I've never. That's some real freak shit. Hey, by the way, guys, not to freak you out, but you are on a website owned by Jeff Bezos currently, like in its entirety, talking to functionally an employee, a contracted employee of Jeff Bezos.
Let's put it this way. If Biden wants to succeed, he has to fulfill that first vaccination promise, because everything he wants to do revolves around convincing the public that after 4 years of Trump, a Biden administration can make government competent again. He doesn't even have to make it efficient, just workable. If Biden doesn't get it right, he will have failed on the job he was elected to do.
Bro. That's great. Am I Amazonian when I watch you on Twitch? If you don't break a grass block, you didn't break the grass block? Chuck Todd is great. Like, at least Chris Cuomo, like, every other famous anchor has something, okay? Van Jones is, like, charismatic, kind of hot, you know, used to be a Maoist, third worldist. Chris Cuomo, himbo legend. Don Lemon, also, you know, he's cool, whatever. Both Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper hit like the different segments for both the suburban housewives and also the gays. Like, everybody's got their own thing, except for Chuck Todd. Wolf Blitzer even is like robotic news anchor man, right? Whereas Chuck Todd has nothing. Okay? He has nothing. Jake Tapper, conservative shill, huge Islamophobe. Like, they all have their own thing. Chuck Todd has nothing. He just sits around and basically makes cyclical arguments. He's got the barcode bangs, which appeals to 0 people. Literally, he has mathematically come up with the only haircut that has 0 fans, okay? 0. Who is the demo for Chuck Todd? I don't think anyone likes him. I mean, I like him. I appreciate him for being mathematically unlikable. But I really want to understand, like, who the fuck is the Chuck Todd fan? Finance Secretary, Treasury nominee Janet Yellen says provisions on the 2017 Republican tax bill for wealthy Americans and large companies should be repealed. Yeah, this is the funniest part because so Republicans are stuck in between saying, well, I think Janet Yellen is going to be an advocate for like too much spending, which will increase the deficit, right? While also simultaneously getting very upset that she believes that the taxes for corporations and the wealthy should also increase, which would reduce the deficit. So which one is it, Republicans? You know what I mean? Are you a deficit hawk, or are you a deficit hawk? Because if you are a deficit hawk, like, you should be on board with taxing corporations and the wealthy, because, you know, that will reduce the deficit. Or are you not? And of course, the reality is that they're not. They're just using it as a cudgel. They're using it as a talking point. And it's fucking stupid. Anyway, they're full of shit. Of course they're full of shit. Go to my local Chuck Todd fan club meetings every Saturday. Real shitty of you to pretend people like me don't exist. Sweetie. Okay, be honest. How likely is that the mega shows are going to show up in all large numbers tomorrow? I don't think they are. Taxing the corporations will make them leave and we won't get those taxes. Yeah. No, I look at, like, moderate to MAGA Twitter every now and then, and there's people who are like, if we increase those taxes, like, things are going to get so much more expensive. Well, bitch, they didn't get cheaper. We fucking put tax cuts on corporations again. Did they get cheaper? I don't know. I didn't realize that things were getting... No, it doesn't do that. It only goes the other way. Okay? It's so great. It's like, oh, well, things are going to get more expensive. I don't understand. I thought that, like, supply and demand was going to actually adjust prices no matter what. And I, by the way, still do think that. I do think that competition will unironically adjust pricing regardless of what the taxes are. Now, of course, there's a limitation to that. If you were putting 100% taxes, or not 100, but like you were putting super high taxes on everything, then that's different. But the price the price always carries on to the consumer when we're talking about tax cuts. But the prices never carry on to the consumer, or sorry, they always talk about the prices carrying on to the consumer when we're talking about tax increases. But they never fucking carry on to the consumer when it comes to tax cuts. What the fuck? Bullshit. Why don't Republicans consider elasticity? I don't know what you're talking about, you see? Inelastic demand? What is that? I do not care. Just buy healthcare like you buy a sofa. You're talking a lot about really unimportant ideas. What you really need to talk about is the sea shanty trend on TikTok. Oh, that dude who was like, what you don't know is that sea shanty is actually not white music, but black music or something. Is that what you're talking about? Which, by the way, isn't even historically accurate, apparently. Like... Is that what you mean? Or what's the new TikTok sea shanty? Tax will go up 100%. Democrats will abuse reconciliation a lot. Manchin said he wants $4 trillion infrastructure spending. Also, can we have your opinion on a public option? I mean, I'm a Medicare for all. I'm a nationalized healthcare system advocate, but I think Medicare for all was a good compromise. And seeing that that's not fucking happening with Joe Biden, if he's actually going to push for a public option, great. I think the public option is still a better. I think having a public option is still better off than having fucking the current system that we have where there's no public option. I just don't think that Joe Biden is honestly going to push for it. Also, abusing reconciliation. Hello? They should use reconciliation all the fucking time on matters that pertain to the budget, which, of course, considering the congressional power of the purse, is literally virtually everything, almost. And I think that that's a great fucking tool to utilize. You're being ridiculous for saying they will abuse reconciliation, considering the reality that Republicans literally abuse reconciliation to push for gigantic tax cuts for corporations of the wealthy. Also, Joe Manchin did say he wants $4 trillion infrastructure spending, which is good. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Someone should call up and phone in Joe Manchin from 2009. Someone should hit up Joe Manchin from a decade prior to see what Joe Manchin is up to now, which is great. That's great. I'm all on board with deficit spending. Okay, fuck yes, abso-fucking-lutely. Let's go. I don't give a shit. Fuck Pago. Fuck all that shit. Totally on board. You think I'm gonna say no to fucking infrastructure spending? Okay, infrastructure spending should be a layup. That should be one area where Republicans and Democrats have bipartisan support for. Okay, that should be one area where every single person across the aisle gets together and says, we should do this. This is good. This is a good idea. And for some fucking weird reason, we just never get there. There is no bipartisan support on infrastructure spending. It is so weird because it's always tacked on. People look at it like it's fucking pork. And infrastructure week never happened under Donald Trump. Is it true that Biden's plan includes the $1,400 check won't pass because they need Republicans to vote on it? But I thought they're passing it as a part of the budget, which only needs 51 votes. No, I think what the idiotic thing here that Joe Biden said he wanted to do, which he shouldn't do, is pass it as a straight bill. If you want to pass it as a straight bill, you might need Republican support on it. You're going to need Republican support on it. You're going to have how many? 11 Republicans to support it, which he's not going to be able to do that, and then they're going to end up passing it as a budget reconciliation where you just need a straight majority. Now, the fucking idiotic part about this is that you don't need to do that. You literally don't need to do that. You don't need to give Republicans a layup, okay? Because in the eyes of Democrats, this is a layup to Republicans. Look, bipartisan compromise. Look, say Trump is the enemy and fucking alienate Trump and excise him from your party and say that you guys are normal. We need to have you at least have the presence of normality so that, or normalcy, so that we can act like you guys are just, you know, normal bad and not like literal fascist bad. Okay? That's what Democrats want. And Joe Biden has said as much. He straight up said, we need a regular, normal Republican Party. We always need them. Okay? And that's really dumb because Republicans are clearly not normal, or worse, normal Republicans are still sick freaks. Okay? I think it's smart. It shows he's trying to work with Republicans. If they don't pass him, it gives ammunition to show that both sides are not equal. Dude, I mean, this is spoken like someone who was not around during the Obama administration or did not fucking pay attention. Like, I'm sorry. No. There is none of that. Obama did this exact same thing that Joe Biden is trying to do, okay? It's dumb as fuck. What do I always say? Expediency is the best way to remove to remove as much political capital expenditure as possible. Because every bill that you pass is going to be gridlocked for an appropriate amount of time, right? No matter what, because of deliberations, because of back and forth in Congress, you know, when you're passing legislation, there's always going to be gridlock. There's always going to be deliberations. There's always going to be some hurdles that you need to overcome. So, when you are going through that process, you will frustrate the electorate. You will frustrate people who are paying attention. They will say, fuck, why can't they get anything done? Just give me the fucking $2,000 checks, right? That exact same problem happened with the ACA as well. If you have a majority, or if you can pass something through budget reconciliation and pass it through just a simple majority, okay, then you have to do it. Because any moment where you go back and forth with Republicans, you're diluting your own bill. You're negotiating with them when you don't need to. They would never in a million years negotiate with you if they don't have to, as they did not. And the longer that process takes, the more political capital you spend. And that comes back in the form of losing House seats and losing fucking Senate seats. Okay, as Obama did famously after ACA. That process did not need to take as long. And the only reason why that process took as long was because they wanted to get Democratic support or Republican support when they didn't need Republican support. You look weak, the bill you propose is shitty, and there's a fuckload of pork on it attached to it, or it's completely diluted because Republicans have chipped away at it effectively. And they end up not even voting for it anyway. So you don't fucking need that. There is no reason to look for Republican support right now for this. You should just pass it as a budget reconciliation. Boom, immediately. 1,400 out the fucking gates. Yeah. The Democrats and Obama, or Rahm Emanuel actually, and his stupidity, caused them to lose 1,000 seats nationwide across Congress, governorships, state seats. Like, they lost so much. And that was because they expended political capital when they could have been more expedient. And by the way, liberals agree with me on this. I would go so far as to say if I had Ezra Klein on right now and we had this conversation, he would 100% agree with me on this. This isn't even like this isn't like a crazy socialist left-wing wild take from me at all. Expedience in my opinion, absolutely is one way to limit the political capital you spend on big pieces of legislation. Okay? I don't think it's that Obamacare was that bad. It was just that Obamacare, which was meh, and a bailout most people hated, giving people a reason to vote for you, Jesus fucking Christ. No, I think Obamacare's implementation was done poorly. Obamacare is a still market-based approach to a problem that demands socialized healthcare. There's many different criticisms that you can launch against Obamacare. But the real reason I believe that there was so much backlash against Obamacare is because the process took so long, and when there is more time, when there's more back and forth on passing a bill, that gives Republicans more leeway to lie about the bill. You pass it and then you move on. If you pass it and you move on, you don't give Republicans an opportunity to lie about it. And these motherfuckers lied about it so aggressively. I mean, like they said death panels. They said that Obama was going to put together death panels to execute your grandparents. Okay? Lover host, chat decides Hasan Piker, Sunday, 4 p.m. Eastern. Yep. Damn, and here I thought it was time for Minx Part 75. I don't know who that is, but let's go woo. Wait, what the fuck? Damn, there's people in the Austin audience now that don't know me. Like, that's Minecraft for you, dude. Anyway, it's top of the hour every hour, folks. It's time for a 6-second ad break. I'm going up as well. Got to stretch a little bit, you know, get the legs going, get the arms going. Okay? Time to get the arms going, time to get the legs going. It's top of the hour every hour where we do a 6-second ad break. After that, Trump's farewell video will be dropped literally right now. It's supposed to drop right now, but of course, in the most Trumpian fashion, it's probably late. If you would no longer want to see the ads and have an ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. All you need to do is subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. You can do it for $5, or you can subscribe for free with your Twitch Prime, ladies and gentlemen. You can subscribe for free with your Amazon Prime account that you connect to your Twitch account. Get one free Twitch Prime. Here's the 1-minute ad now. Austin, we announced it. I retweeted it too. In 2016 to 2021, my favorite Trumps: Sweaty Trump, Big Hat Trump. What is this? I've never seen this. Guys, I got some rare Trumps. I got some rare fucking Trumps, dude. I remember that. Big Pants Trump. Wow. Hard Hat Trump. Happy Submarine Trump. I mean, the classic ones are... Wow. Oh, fuck, I'm coming Trump. Punish Trump at the hospital. Doing big business deals. Baseball grabbing Trump. I think, like, the classic ones are yelling at the kid Trump is pretty good when he's mowing the lawn. Right? And then the fireman, like the fire car wee Trump is pretty good. You know what I'm talking about? Like when he's in the fire truck and he's like, woo, he's like a little kid. McDonald's dinner Trump is pretty good too. Looking at the sun during the solar eclipse Trump. Another rare, that's not even a rare Trump at that point though. That's like a known Trump. But obviously, you know what my favorite Trump is. It's not, it's kind of rare. I'll show you my favorite Trumps. Here, I'll show you my favorite Trumps. Obviously, that's one of them. For obvious reasons. But nothing beats this one. And then there's another one where he's like, getting on Air Force One, I think, where his like dumpy is extra thick because there's like air pressure. There's a lot of air. Yeah. I mean, listen. A third of Trump's best moments. Everything is in it. Also, the vid is out. All right. All right, folks. Oh, 20 minutes. He's blessing us. Oh, God. Get the gamba ready, boys. Get the gamba ready, boys. Watching. Okay. Pre-recorded farewell. The Hasino is open. Let's go.
Americans. 4 years ago, we launched a great national effort to rebuild our country, to renew its spirit, and to restore the allegiance of this government to its citizens. In short, we embarked on a mission to make America great again for all Americans. As I conclude my term as the 45th President of the United States, I stand before you truly proud of what we have achieved together. We did what we came here to do, and so much more. This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous. We extend our best wishes, and we also want them to have luck, a very important word. I'd like to begin by thanking just a few of the amazing people who made our remarkable journey possible. First, let me express my overwhelming gratitude for the love and support of our spectacular First Lady, Melania. Let me also share my deepest appreciation to my daughter Ivanka, my son-in-law Jared, and to Barron, Don, Eric, Tiffany, and Lara. You fill my world with light. Gamba is open, boys. I also want to thank Vice President Mike Pence, his wonderful wife Karen, and the entire Pence family. Thank you as well to my Chief of Staff, Mark Meadows, the dedicated members of the White House staff, and the cabinet, and all of the incredible people across our administration who poured out their heart and soul to fight for America. I also want to take a moment to thank a truly exceptional group of people, the United States Secret Service. My family and I will forever be in your debt. My profound gratitude as well to everyone literally in the White House military office. He means literally. The teams of Marine One and Air Force One, every member of the armed forces, and state and local law enforcement all across our country. Most of all, I want to thank the American people.
Because of all the golfing trips, like he's literally indebted to the Secret Service.
Thank you for this extraordinary privilege, and that's what it is, a great privilege and a great honor.
Ooh, 91 million
no's,
33 million yeses.
We'll always have our disagreements. We are a nation of incredible, decent, faithful, and peace-loving citizens who all want our country to thrive and flourish and be very, very successful and good. We are a truly magnificent nation. All Americans were horrified by the assault on our Capitol. Political violence is an attack on everything we cherish as Americans. It can never be tolerated. Now more than ever, we must unify around our shared values and rise above the partisan rancor and forge our common destiny. 4 years ago, I came to Washington
Doesn't look
as
good.
the
He might
only
not
true outsider ever to win the presidency. I had not spent my career as a politician, but as a builder looking at open skylines and imagining infinite possibilities. I ran for president because I knew there were towering new summits for America just waiting to be scaled. I knew the potential for our nation was boundless as long as we put America first. So I left behind my former life and stepped into a very difficult arena, but an arena nevertheless with all sorts of potential if properly done. America had given me so much, and I wanted to give something back. Together with millions of hardworking patriots across this land, we built the greatest political movement in the history of our country. We also built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It was about America first because we all wanted to make America great again. We restored the principle that a nation exists to serve its citizens. Our agenda was not about right or left. It wasn't about Republican or Democrat, but about the good of a nation, and that means the whole nation. With the support and prayers of the American people, we achieved more than anyone thought possible. Nobody thought we could even come close. We passed the largest package of tax cuts and reforms in America.
What a cuck!
We slashed more job-killing
Talk about the radical left.
Any administration had ever done before. We fixed our
low
broken
energy
trade deals, withdrew from the horrible Trans-Pacific Partnership and the impossible Paris Climate Accord, renegotiated the one-sided South Korea deal, and we replaced NAFTA with the groundbreaking USMCA. That's Mexico and Canada, a deal that's worked out very, very well. Also, and very importantly, we imposed historic and monumental tariffs on China, made a great new deal with China. But before the ink was even dry, we and the whole world got hit with the China virus. Our trade relationship was rapidly changing. Billions and billions of dollars were pouring into the U.S., but the virus forced us to go in a different direction. The whole world suffered, but America outperformed other countries economically because of our incredible economy and the economy that we built. Without the foundations and footings, it wouldn't have worked out this way. We wouldn't have some of the best numbers we've ever had. We also unlocked our energy resources and became the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas, by far. Powered by these policies, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We reignited America's job creation and achieved record low unemployment for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, Asian Americans, women, almost everyone. Income soared, wages boomed, the American dream was restored, and millions were lifted from poverty in just a few short years. It was a miracle. Stock market set one record after another, with 148 stock market highs during this short period of time, and boosted
at least
the
we're at 1,000 COVID deaths
of hardworking citizens all across our nation. 401ks are at a level they've never been at before. We've never seen numbers like
1,400 COVID deaths a day.
Before the pandemic and after the pandemic. We rebuilt the American manufacturing base, opened up thousands of new factories, and brought back the beautiful phrase, made in the USA. To make life better for working families, we doubled the child tax credit and signed the largest ever expansion of funding for child care and development. We joined with the private sector to secure commitments to train more than 16 million American workers for the jobs of tomorrow. When our nation was hit with the terrible pandemic, we produced not one,
New
but two
Gamba is
vaccines
live
with record-breaking speed, and more will quickly follow. They said it couldn't be done, but we did it. They called it a medical miracle, and that's what they're calling it right now.
Also, congratulations.
A medical miracle. Another administration would have taken 3,
Qualia
4,
07.
5, maybe even up to 10 years to develop a vaccine. We did it in 9 months. We grieve for every life lost.
Well, Trump mentioned the Antifa in 6 minutes.
Their memory to wipe out this horrible pandemic once and for all. When the virus took its brutal toll on the world's economy, We launched the fastest economic recovery
I think this is
our country has ever seen. We passed nearly $4 trillion in economic relief, saved or supported over 50 million
I think this is a reconciliation speech as well as a farewell address.
Country has never seen before.
He's
choice
being very
and
moderate.
Transparency in healthcare. Stood up to big pharma in so many ways, but especially in our effort to get favored nations clauses added, which will give us the lowest prescription drug prices anywhere in the world. We passed VA choice, VA accountability, right to try, and landmark criminal justice reform. We confirmed 3 new justices of the United States Supreme Court. We appointed nearly 300 federal judges to interpret our Constitution as written. For years, the American people pleaded with Washington to finally secure the nation's borders. I am pleased to say we answered that plea and achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. We have given our brave border agents and heroic ICE officers the tools they need to do their jobs better than they have ever done before, and to enforce our laws and keep America safe. We proudly leave the next administration with the strongest and most robust border security measures ever put into place. This includes historic agreements with Mexico, Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador, along with more than 450 miles of powerful new wall. We restored American strength at home and American leadership abroad. The world respects us again. Please don't lose that respect.
Totally.
We reclaimed our sovereignty.
If there's one thing Trump did, it was gain respect from the rest of the world. I mean, totally. Everyone is always saying, wow, we are in the rest of the world and we respect Trump so much now.
At the United Nations and withdrawing from the one-sided global deals that never served our interests. And NATO countries are now paying hundreds of billions of dollars more than when I arrived just a few years ago. It was very unfair. We were paying the cost for the world. Now the world is helping us. And perhaps most importantly of all, with nearly $3 trillion, we fully rebuilt the American military, all made in the USA. We launched the first new branch of the United States Armed Forces in 75 years, the Space Force. And last spring, I stood at Kennedy Space Center in Florida and watched as American astronauts returned to space on American rockets for the first time in many, many years. We revitalized our alliances and rallied the nations of the world to stand up to China like never before. We obliterated the ISIS caliphate and ended the wretched life of its founder and leader, al-Baghdadi. We stood up to the oppressive Iranian regime and killed the world's top terrorist, Iranian butcher Qasem Soleimani. We recognized Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. As a result of our bold diplomacy and principled realism, we achieved a series of historic peace deals in the Middle East. Nobody believed it could happen. The Abraham Accords opened the doors to a future of peace and harmony.
It's so unbelievable, it's like it didn't happen.
It is the dawn of a new Middle East, and we are bringing our soldiers home.
Because it didn't happen.
I am especially proud to be the first president in decades who has started no new wars. Above all, we have reasserted the sacred idea that in America, the government answers to the people. Our guiding light, our North Star, our unwavering conviction has been that we are here to serve the
Not that this motherfucker didn't try, by the way.
of America. Our allegiance is not to
also
the
domestically,
special interests, corporations, or global
white supremacist
entities.
terror is at an
It's to
all-time
our
high, but
children,
hey.
our citizens, and to our nation itself. As president, my top priority, my constant concern, has always been the best interests of American workers and American families. I did not seek the easiest course. By far, it was actually the most difficult. I did not seek the path that would get the least criticism. I took on the tough battles, the hardest fights, the most difficult choices, because that's what you elected me to do. Your needs were my first and last unyielding focus. This, I hope, will be our greatest legacy. Together, we put the American people back in charge of our country. We restored self-government. We restored the idea that in America, no one is forgotten because everyone matters and everyone has a voice. We fought for the principle that every citizen is entitled to equal dignity, equal treatment, and equal rights because we are all made equal by God. Everyone is entitled to be treated with respect, to have their voice heard, and to have their government listen. You are loyal to your country, and my administration was always loyal to you. We worked to build a country in which every citizen could find a great job and support their wonderful families. We fought for the communities where every American could be safe and schools where every child could learn. We promoted a culture where our laws would be upheld, our heroes honored, our history preserved, and law-abiding citizens are never taken for granted. Americans should take tremendous satisfaction in all that we have achieved together. It's incredible. Now, as I leave the White House, I have been reflecting on the dangers that threaten the priceless inheritance we all share. As the world's most powerful nation, America faces constant threats and challenges from abroad. But the greatest danger we face is a loss of confidence in ourselves, a loss of confidence in our national greatness. A nation is only as strong as its spirit. We are only as dynamic as our pride. We are only as vibrant as the faith that beats in the hearts of our people.
Who wrote this?
No nation can long thrive that loses faith in its own values, history, and heroes. For these are the very sources of our unity and our vitality. What has always allowed America to prevail and triumph over the great challenges of the past has been an unyielding and unashamed conviction in the nobility of our country and its unique purpose in history. We must never lose this conviction. We must never forsake our belief in America.
That's a good Trump, too.
The key to national greatness lies in sustaining and instilling our shared national identity.
They're upset at him.
That means focusing on what we have in common, the
TheDonald
heritage that we all share. At the center of this heritage
TheDonald is very upset at him.
Also a robust belief in free expression, free speech, and open debate. Only if we forget
30 seconds to bet
who we are and how we got here could we ever allow political censorship and blacklisting to take place in America.
Refund.
It's not
Cancel
even
the bet.
thinkable. Shutting down free and open debate violates our core values.
I mean, it was already happening while
traditions. In America, we don't insist on absolute conformity or enforce
he mentioned it while the betting was open. It doesn't work that
orthodoxies
way. You can't do that.
and punitive speech codes. We just don't do that. America is not a timid nation of tame souls who need to be sheltered and protected from those with whom we disagree. That's not who we are. It will never be who we are. For nearly 250 years, in the face of every challenge, Americans have always summoned our unmatched courage, confidence, and fierce independence. These are the miraculous traits that once led millions of everyday citizens to set out across a wild continent and carve out a new life in the Great West. It was the same profound love of our God-given freedom that willed our soldiers into battle and our astronauts into space. As I think back on the past 4 years, one image rises in my mind above all others. Whenever I traveled all along the motorcade route, there were thousands and thousands of people. They came out with their families so that they could stand as we passed and proudly wave our great American flag. It never failed to deeply move me. I knew that they did not just come out to show their support of me. They came out to show me their support and love for our country. This is a republic of proud citizens who are united by our common conviction that America is the greatest nation in all of history. We are and must always be a land of hope, of light, and of glory to all the world. This is the precious inheritance that we must safeguard at every single turn. For the past 4 years, I have worked to do just that. From a great hall of Muslim leaders in Riyadh to a great square of Polish
The new
people in
admin?
Warsaw, from the floor of the Korean Assembly.
That's really
to the
interesting. That's an
podium
interesting
at
question.
The United Nations General Assembly, and from the Forbidden City in Beijing to the shadow of Mount Rushmore. I fought for you. I fought for your family. I fought for our country. Above all, I fought for America and all it stands for, and that is safe, strong, proud, and free.
There's nothing going
now,
on.
as I prepare to hand power over to a new administration at noon on Wednesday, I want you to know that the movement we started is only just beginning. There's never been anything like it.
Did it close?
The belief that a nation must
close?
serve its citizens will not dwindle, but instead only grow stronger by the day. As long as the American people hold in their hearts deep and devoted love of country, then there is nothing that this nation cannot achieve. Our communities will flourish. Our people will be prosperous. Our traditions will be cherished. Our faith will be strong. And our future will be brighter than ever before. I go from this majestic place with a loyal and joyful heart, an optimistic spirit, and a supreme confidence that for our country and for our children, the best is yet to come. Thank you and farewell. God bless you. God bless the United States of America.
Wow. Wait, what? Why are there only 6 videos? YouTube is like, oh, you want to watch this Trump video? There's only 6 videos we're going to recommend you. Not the regular fucking, you know, whatever it is. Gamba's really on point today. Dude, thank the mods. They are so good at setting up Gamba. This is a rare Trump hat. It was Churchill's.
Good. Because we're in the Churchill War Rooms.
Right.
This is where Britain's greatest leader fought the war. And he used to wear these famous hats from the hat maker.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And so we've had one made for you.
I like it.
This is a Churchill hat, exactly in the style he used to wear it. We've had it monogrammed with DJT.
I like
and
it.
on behalf of Good Morning
Yeah, I already said this on Twitter, so I'm just repeating the same joke over here, but today's the day Trump became president, folks.
We would like to present you with a Churchill hat.
Piers. I never knew you had that kind of sensibility. That's sort of beautiful. Are you allowed to do this? He didn't do that.
I think you can do that.
He didn't do that, and he definitely didn't do that.
Wow, what an angle.
Wow.
You want to try it?
I'll try it, you know.
Wow.
One thing I proved by being a politician, it is my hair. They would have found out a long time ago.
Do you think you...
Dude, he's such a lame ass dude. He has the... Oh, God. Look at the chat. And it's disabled. You can't see the chat. They disabled it because they're probably fucking shitting him up. They're probably saying like, they're probably saying it's bullshit. By the way, this is what we were doing already. Look at that nussy, dude. You rarely ever get like an upskirt of nussy. And that's a good nussy, dude. Holy shit. Powerful. Num num num num num num num. I can't believe I have 56,000 people and I'm saying nussy. The spaghetti is everywhere. I have literally just fucking, oh no. I am, these are things I should not be telling the Normans that come in here for just like regular political coverage, but this is a part of it. Nussy is neck pussy. Anyway. Hasan, you will be live early for the inauguration? Yes, tomorrow I will be live early for the inauguration, which is good because I'll be falling asleep during it because it is going to be sleeper as fuck. Anyway, before we get to my to my predictions on what's going to happen tomorrow, because a lot of people are asking, we're looking at favorite Trumps. This is such a close favorite for my photo. The video is my second favorite because yeah, this is the wee wee fire truck Trump, which was really cool. We're looking at rare Trumps. Rare Trumps. Because there are some rare Trumps. Some real rare Trumps out there. Do we have any first edition Trumps? I mean, some of these are first edition. This is probably the closest you get to a first edition Trump, though. And a rare one. And my favorite, personally. This is my favorite Trump. Like, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, this is a close second, but I think you know why. That is a presidential dumper, folks. Yeah, this is a PSA 10. You can even see the undies in it. So you can't assume that he's got... You can't say that he has a diaper on because it's undies. Like, you can literally see the undies. Anyway. The one where he's in his bathrobe laying in the bed is rare. Oh, that's... Yeah, he's got the orange skin peel. The orange skin legs. The leg meat. It's got everything. It's got the cottage cheese legs. It's got literally everything you want. It's got granny panties. This is clearly mullet Trump, too. He's got the cool hat on. Like, this is an old one. This is like... You should make Trump playing cards. Yeah. This one has been recaptured, is what I'm saying. Like, there's different versions of this out there, but this is, I think, probably the first edition. Very limited. Very rare. Anyway, this is disgusting. You didn't warn me enough. So let's move on from the rare Trumps that we were looking at. Oh, I already, yeah, I mentioned this already. You got another rare one. I guess this wasn't all that rare, but it is a great moment when he's looking directly into the solar eclipse. Cheeseburger Trump, that was a huge one. This is probably the happiest he's also ever been in the past 4 years. You have Orb Trump, diabolical, world-conquering Trump. That's pretty tight. I mean, literal fucking evil villain shit, you know? That one has a bonus where I think it was Rex Tillerson who was also playing around with the sword. You guys remember that? You got throwing paper towels into the crowd, Trump? Yeah. Here, have some paper towels, Puerto Ricans. I know you're not American, but hey, I give you American bounty paper towels. 3,000 people died after that hurricane, by the way. Saluting the North Korean general, Trump. Based Jusha Trump. I mean, come on. This is very much a both sides. Both sides. We need to respect the troops on all sides. Person, woman, man, camera, TV Trump. That's a classic, but, you know, it's not my favorite. Hawking beans during the pandemic Trump was decent, too. Hispanic votes secured Trump. I secured it, believe me. Yeah, crushing political leaders' hands with my power shake Trump. This is real 90s, dude. This is a real 90s move. Like, there was a point in time, culturally, and I think some people are still probably trapped in that culture, where basically Trump would literally shake people's hands as powerfully as possible. Like, it's called a power shake, right? Like a powerful handshake to basically assert your dominance, to show your authority over the other person. Now, this one is also great because it shows you the elevator shoes in the lean, where he is basically a backslash. Like, he is Michael Jacksoning in his posture. Now, the only reason, there's two reasons why he can do this. And we here have identified this to a T. Like, this is an exact science. Now, there's two reasons why Trump can be a backslash. Okay? And the reason why he can be a backslash, that backslash posture, is two things. Okay? Low center of gravity, and this goes back to, obviously, the rare Trumps as well. Low center of gravity that basically allows him, like those little bobbing birds on desks that, like, you know, suck up the water from your table. Like, Trump, if he wanted to, not just a backslash, but like literally could go parallel to the ground if he wanted to. The top of his body can go completely parallel to the ground because of the dumpy redistributing the entire body weight as a counterweight. You learn about this in physics. Okay? So the dumper counterweight is so powerful that he can literally go parallel if he wanted to. But he only goes, you know, he only backslashes, right? And the other reason why he can backslash like that is because he has elevator shoes. That's it. Those are the two reasons. Baseball Trump. Flying hair Trump is a good one. One of my other favorite Trumps is, you know, when he's like looking real cute and you can see the I mean, that's the first edition Trump. This is you know, wanting to have sexual intercourse with his own daughter Trump. Pence going to Biden's inauguration rather than the Trump farewell. Yeah, no shit. Cute Trump. Yes! Yes, Not Your Average African found it. Yes, this is one of my favorite Trumps. On God, no cap, 2 Virgils on a stack on a $1.50. This is straight up probably my second favorite Trump. And this is a rare one. This is a limited edition Trump. Probably my favorite because there's so much going on in his face here. Like, first of all, you see the insane spray tan. But that's not it. That's not the reason why this is beautiful. This photo is beautiful because there is a sense of like childlike mischief in his face. Okay? Look at his face. He looks cute. This is perhaps the only time where Donald Trump has looked cute. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me on this, but like there's like this sense of like quiet bewilderment where maybe a little bit of mischief in his eyes. Is a very limited edition Trump. Big fan of this Trump. Probably my second favorite Trump because it doesn't feature the dumpy, which, you know, I take marks off for not having dumpy features. But he kind of looks like that little baby that, you know, the little girl that you see looking back at you in front of like a burning building. You know that meme I'm talking about? No, this is not rare. Oh, this meme. Yeah, here. Kind of like that, but cuter. Like this baby looks like she is responsible for this electrical fire. Trump here, responsible for 400,000 American deaths without a single new war, by the way. That is a record. Whether you want to admit it or not. Number one, baby. 400,000 Americans he killed, and he didn't start a new war. Think about that. He tried to start a new war. He tried to start 2, but didn't work. But again, he was able to kill 400,000 Americans without starting a new war. So here's a remake of that photo. What? The fuck? Exactly. Boy mowing lawn Trump is like classic, but not as much fun. Anyway, what was I going to talk about when we were looking at, after we were done looking at rare Trumps? Now that we're done looking at rare Trumps, there was another thing I was going to show you. Presidential dumpy. MyPillow we talked about already. So, oh, tomorrow. One more. Oh, Trump, I go. That's true. Good call. Okay, I'm gonna burn your eyes. Burn your retinas. Yup. Yup. Sorry. Limited edition Trumps, baby. What? Hold on, what the fuck is this? Oh. What is this in fucking 4K, dude? That shit is... it should literally be illegal to take photos of Donald Trump in 4K. Oh, here's what I was going to talk about. So, people are, of course, mad. Reddit, thank you. People on the Donald.win, which is the r/Donald subreddit, because these guys were too gross for even Reddit, which is, in and of itself, a remarkable feat, an achievement. Let's be real. But when they got banned off Reddit, they moved over to their own website. You know. And there, they could, you know, be as racist as they want. That's vote, not the Donald. Went. That's voice. VOAT. Wait, really? That's VOAT, not Donald Win? Oh, Donald Win is down? And yet Reddit allows a Reddit subreddit called Fuck the Alt-Right? Yes. Do you want to know why that is allowed and the other isn't? Because the alt-right is literally Nazis and neo-Nazis and Klansmen and people who believe that, like, Jews control everything and that's why the world is in a terrible state. And yes, saying fuck Nazis is not the same as saying, oh yeah, we are Nazis and not being a Nazi is pretty poggers. Okay? There is a difference. Contrary to what liberal media has told you. By the way, thank you, David D000 for the 100 tier 1 gift subs. Holy shit. But contrary to what your parents have told you or what liberal media has told you, there is a difference between good things and bad things. And I'm not going to sit here and act like there isn't one to, you know, spare you your fifis. Okay? Sorry. No. Nazis are bad. Those who say fuck Nazis are good. It's Donald Win. I screenshotted these myself. Oh, never mind. It is Donald Win. Oh, never mind. Donald Win also has some links on there. You are so biased. Explain how Reddit allows gross shit like r/OkBuddyHasan to exist then. Yeah, that's true. That's why I say Reddit is a degenerate platform for degeneracy. Dear God, place your hand over President Trump and give him the courage to do what's right for our country. Amen. Dear God, I add my prayer. God bless America. Amen. Well, none of them are saying a woman, so kind of weird. This is the first Trump speech that ends with God bless the United States of America instead of God bless America. Same with Melanie's speech, something, 19th president. A woman, A twin spirited, A tag helicopter, A10 warthog, Burr. Oh God, they still have the same. They literally still have the same fucking jokes, dude. Find new jokes, guys. One joke. One joke. Get a new joke. Same joke. RSBN just said we don't know what he's gonna say. This might just be the last bit of the hopium stash. There's always a speech tomorrow at Joint Andrews Air Force Base. I thought they announced there were no such plans. Wait, are there still people in the QAnon community that think that, like, Trump is still going to, like, in his final hour, bring about the end of times? I thought, like, all the QAnon people had, like, now finally decided, like, okay, maybe he's not going to do it. Maybe, like, just basically build your community. Just add on to the mania that already exists. How do you add on to the mania that already exists? Well, you say, okay, he's been compromised too. Because, like, some of these QAnon psychopaths literally believe that Mike Pence is cloned. Okay? Some members of QAnon, there are members of QAnon, if you follow as closely as I do, genuinely believe that Mike Pence was a pedophile, as well as the rest of the Democrats and all the Republicans that have ever stood in opposition to Donald Trump, and that Mike Pence was a pedophile and he was caught for his crimes and cloned, like the Hollywood celebrities that are also pedophiles. You know, in the similar, like, Hollywood cloning thing happened to Mike Pence as well. And why not just say Donald Trump is now cloned and he was, you know, stolen by the libs or something? The new Q theory says Trump is having facial reconstruction surgery to look like Biden, so it will actually still be him. Lol, look it up. No. No way. No way. That's Lad Bible, dude. No. That's some fucking rando dipshit on 4chan that wrote that. Except that's literally how QAnon started, so who knows? Just sitting here waiting to see how far the fucking well goes, dude. How deep the well is, brother. Thank you, Mike, for betraying America, cuck. Doctored, not sounding good. He fucking just gave up. Fuck him. What a fucking depressing speech. RIP America. It's over now. We're all fucking doomed. Hostage video, no. Thank you, Mike Pence. Okay. Whole bunch of empty platitudes. Cuck. Fuck Judas Pence. Thank Pence for betrayal. Luck, a very important word. Yup, continue to sell out the MAGA movement. Thank you, Pence, my ass. He said, luck. Licks hopium pipe for residue. He pussied out. He gave up on the country and on us. Like he did not want to be president anymore. Biden will undo everything good he's done. Like, like what? So if that theory is true, will the Trumpers switch over to Biden? No, and that theory is not true anyway. No, now they think Trump is going to be a shadow president and control Biden in secret. Okay. If that gets them to believe, you know, if that gets them to, like, agitate for... That's actually kind of five-head. Hold on. Why don't we just make QAnon supporters believe that Donald Trump is actually now Joe Biden or controlling Joe Biden? And because they literally fucking hate the Republican Party, get them to believe that, like, Joe Biden is actually doing the bidding of Donald Trump by attacking the Republican Party, even though he won't enough, but maybe from time to time, with opposition, with, like, party, you know, with left-wing economic populism, which Joe Biden won't do. Yeah, that theory is going to fall apart because Joe Biden is literally like a Republican, like a boring, run-of-the-mill, moderate centrist Republican. So, for that theory to hold, he had to at least have some, like, you know, populist takes every now and then. This is extremely petty and inconsequential, but until yesterday, I had no idea that him and Melania don't even share a bedroom, and that's just so funny to me. He can't even get his mail-order bride to sleep with him in the same room. I mean, dude, I think that when Melania was ordered, I don't think that she signed up for being the fucking first lady to a mouth-foaming, psychopathic, proto-fascist movement, you know? So at that stage, it's like, you can fuck the tennis coach all day, baby. Like, you deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, that's She didn't want that kind of exposure. Nobody wants that kind of exposure. I can fix her? No, you can't. It's real, brother Hank. Joe Biden. I mean, dude, this is just... Okay, part of me wants to say this is just one fucking 4chan thread. But then the other part of me is like, well, that's literally how QAnon started. Okay, so I can't even say that, like, this is just one 4chan thread anymore. Because that's exactly how QAnon started. As a meme, amongst people LARPing as though they had Q-level security clearance. So, you know, that could... Isn't it like a major crime to impersonate a major government official faking exposing crimes? Yeah, dude, it's the internet. Like, 4chan might not have actually fucking been responsible for Trump's victory. It wasn't. But it is literally responsible for QAnon. Joe Biden has been arrested. The deep state is in disarray and has struck a deal with the Trump administration. There will be an experimental surgery that will change the faces of Biden and Trump. So when you watch Biden's inauguration, you will really be watching Trump being sworn in for a second term. And when you're watching the Trump trials, that's really Biden paying for his crimes. Also, when Trump, as Biden, stammers or slurs his words, that's because Trump is still learning to duplicate his speech patterns. Oh, this is what I mean when I said, like, conservatives are painfully uncreative, except for when they are using literally all of their creative brain juice to cope. They're so good and so creative when it comes to finding new ways of victimhood where no such victimhood exists. Like, straight white men are being attacked by divorce court, and also on top of that by gay pride. And they're so creative and so good when it comes to, like, coping with psychotic nonsense like this. But I do think that this is a troll post, which is everything on 4chan, which is exactly how QAnon started. So what's the troll? A troll of today is the very successful, highly organized, and highly damaging political movement of tomorrow, you know? Pretty cool to think about. Yikes, dude. This isn't copium, this is crack cocaine, brother. Yo, this is whatever the fuck the homie MyPillow is on, you know what I mean? By the way, here's Mitch McConnell this morning doing the bare minimum. Let's take a look at that.
Majority Leader.
The last time the Senate convened, we had just reclaimed the Capitol from violent criminals who tried to stop Congress from doing our duty. The mob was fed lies. They were provoked by the president and other powerful people. And they tried to use fear and violence to stop a specific proceeding of the first branch of the federal government, which they did not like. But we pressed on. We stood together and said an angry mob would not get veto power over the rule of law in our nation, not even for one night. We certified the people's choice for their 46th president. Tomorrow, President-elect Biden and Vice President-elect Harris will be sworn in. We'll have a safe and successful inaugural right here on the west front of the Capitol, the space that President Bush 41 called democracy's front porch. And then we'll move forward. Our work for the American people will continue as it has for more than 230 years. There are serious challenges that our nation needs to continue confronting. but there will also be great and hopeful opportunities for us to seize. Certainly, November's elections did not hand any side a mandate for sweeping ideological change. Americans elected a closely divided Senate, a closely divided House, and a presidential candidate who said he'd represent everyone. So our marching orders from the American people are clear. We're to have a robust discussion and seek common ground. We are to pursue bipartisan agreement everywhere we can and check and balance one another respectfully where we must. And through all of this, we must always keep in mind that we're all Americans. We all love this country, and we're all in this together.
So the reason why this is the bare minimum is because, first of all, I said this before, but calling out Trump now is the bare minimum and has always been the bare minimum for the Republican Party to just basically say it's not the Republican Party's actions leading up to this moment that allowed someone like Trump to just take over and basically heighten the racial agitations that they've been taking advantage of. And it's actually just Trump alone. And it's very liberal to think that. A lot of liberals still at this point think that it's just Trump and that there is a supposedly moderate Republican Party out there that's reasonable. I mean, the number one head liberal, Joe Biden, feels this way. He recently even said, we need a normal Republican Party to stand in opposition to us always. We need a smart Republican Party. It's a necessity. So that's what Mitch McConnell is doing here, is preserving the long-standing ideological goals that he has for the Republican Party. Doing so requires him to, at the very least, say the right things in this moment, which is to say, oh, no, we are different than Donald Trump, when they're not different than Donald Trump. And the example I have given time and time again, especially during the election was stolen from Donald Trump crises that we were going over for the past month or so, was the fact that Republicans have consistently, one, they've stolen the election back in 2000 in Florida, and two, they have consistently lied about the election and their integrity all the time. It's not even a new thing. It's not just a Trump thing. Even reasonable, moderate Republicans that like liberals love, such as Paul Ryan, have talked about the integrity of elections. And the reason why they lie about those, the integrity of elections, is so that they can actually pursue their long-standing ideological goals of making sure that a single fucking Democratic vote never gets cast or ever gets fucking read. That's it. Ever gets counted. Their entire goal is to make sure that no Democrat votes are ever fucking cast or ever fucking counted. Okay? That's it. That's the reality. That's how they do voter suppression. And they do it very well. And in order to justify voter suppression in the form of like voter ID laws, signature matching, purging people off of voter rolls, they have to say there is a massive problem with voter fraud happening. Okay? Because if there is no massive voter fraud happening, then why the fuck would you need to have this like insane limitations on who can vote and how they can vote? So miss me with this bullshit. If you truly believe that like Donald Trump is the first president who has said that like, these outcomes are not real. Donald Trump simply took it to the logical conclusion. Okay? He took it to the logical next step, which was to say outright that this election was stolen from him and that Democrats had stolen it from him and that he was refusing to fucking concede. Okay? This is the reason. The reason why I mentioned this is so that you understand, like, every Republican is responsible. Republicans as a whole, as a party, as a national party, are responsible for every single thing that they now criticize Trump over. The same goes for racial agitation. White supremacist dog whistles didn't start with Donald Trump. Donald Trump just kicked it up a notch. Okay? He just kicked it up a notch. That's it. Republicans have been relying on white nativist immigration policies, white supremacist dog whistles, their entire careers. So now they're going to what? Turn around and be like, oh my God, I can't believe Trump was being so racist. Like, no. Those motherfuckers existed within the Tea Party. Okay? Those motherfuckers existed in the moral majority. Those very same people have been Republican and voting Republican for a very long time. And the reason why they believe the things that they believe is because of people like every professional Republican sitting in office currently, and also Fox News and the Republican media machine that has churned out borderline conspiracy theories, actual conspiracy theories, and a fuckload of racial agitation since its inception. Okay? That's it. So it's not just Donald Trump. And many Republicans can't even do the bare minimum. Democrats are giving Republicans an out here to say, yeah, just say it's Trump and that you're different so we can go back to business as usual. And the Republicans can't even do that. A lot of Republicans are like, nah, fuck that. This is us. I'm not going to fucking apologize. And why should they? Because the Democrats have no power. Even when they are in power, they have no interest in exercising that power, using that power. Okay?
Iraq war and the Libyan war. In Syria, there were those who were advocating for a repeat of Iraq, which is to say a whole-scale intervention. That's something that I did not agree with when we were looking at what to do in Afghanistan.
But here's the problem in Syria. There was a predictable result there. Had you gotten rid of Assad, who were the fiercest fighters over there? Al-Nusra and Al-Qaeda. The more radical you were, the better fighters you were. The program that you started with Hillary Clinton, the program to train the moderate rebels, we spent $250 million. We trained about 60. We sent 10 of them into battle, and they were captured in the first 10 minutes. It was a complete disaster. This whole idea that there were moderates over there that we were going to support, doctors and lawyers and stuff, there were, but I don't think they were out there fighting. The ones out there fighting were jihadists, Al-Qaeda, Al-Nusra.
It's so sad that the worst person you know made the best point.
Terrible person. But I'm not positive that these people would have been better. So, I mean, it's the same lesson. Our humility has to be, let's quit toppling regimes over there. Let's don't support the bad ones, but let's don't presume enough that if we topple them, that in the vacuum, Thomas Jefferson is going to arise, because it never seems to happen. With regard to
I hate that he's right on
advise and consent, and this is a little bit on Senator Barrasso's extension of his question on treaties, it really isn't so much a solicitous mood to say, well, we just can't pass these treaties, so we're going to make all these agreements, they're not coming to you. But I would argue even more importantly on war. You have argued when you've been part of administrations that, oh, yes, you know, we'd like Senator Keynes, a more narrow AUMF, but we don't really need it. Now, you're not alone. That sort of, I think, arrogant executive sort of attitude comes from both parties. Every president for the last 50 years. In fact, they all probably believe this. They believe they have absolute power. It's called this absolute Article 2 authority. And this runs on both sides. But it runs through the extremes on our side. The John Boltons on our side believe in this absolute Article 2 authority. The AUMF from 9/11 had nothing to do with people in Somalia. Do you think the AUMF from 9/11 authorizes you to continue the war in Somalia?
I think the AUMF...
I hate this spaghetti-haired motherfucker, but he's spitting right now.
In countries and against groups that were not contemplated or cited in the AUMF, which is the very strong reason why we should revisit it.
But it's very specific. It says people who organize to attack us. It doesn't mention, you know, people say, well, they say and associated forces. That's not in it. That's somebody dreamed that up later and sort of said that it's in. It's not in there. It doesn't say associated forces. There is no authorization for war in Somalia, Mali, Yemen, which the Obama administration originally did support.
Why don't I like Rand Paul?
There really isn't.
He's fucking
I'm not for a more
horrible,
narrow
dude.
one. I'm just for no more war over there. I'm tired of all the war. I'm tired of all the
he has like sometimes he has strong anti-imperialist takes, but overall he's a fucking horrible monster. He's a dumbass. He literally here, let me give you a quick recap. Mr. COVID Andy over here literally was like, yeah, we should follow Sweden's model at a time when Sweden had a higher death per capita than the United States, okay, on COVID. No COVID restriction Andy over here. He is Mr. Why are we giving people $2,000? We should give him $1 million, I guess, like government spending. He is also a fake libertarian in the sense that he talks about deficit spending, or he talks about like the deficit ballooning, and then goes and votes for the Trump tax cuts that actually fucking ruin the deficit. So what is he talking about? He's a libertarian grifter, dude. Fuck that. He's a massive hypocrite.
So if you're successful, then we would be at war with Russia now.
I actually think just the opposite. I think that, Senator, with regard to NATO membership, there's a very good reason that Russia has proved aggressive against countries that are not actually in NATO and under the umbrella, and a good reason why it's chosen not to attack.
This would be adding Georgia that's occupied to NATO under Article 5, then we would go to war.
Well, I think we've seen, again, in the past that countries that have joined NATO have not been the same target of Russian aggression that we've seen.
We were talking about 20 years ago, we might have a valid argument now. Russia occupies Georgia. Russia occupies, or proxy troops occupy part of Ukraine. So I think adding either of them to NATO not only is provocative, but you'd have to think what comes next. I mean, if we're obligated to defend our NATO allies, I mean, basically we'd be voting for war. So I wouldn't vote to add Georgia to NATO, not on your life, unless I'm ready to send my kids and your kids to go fight in Georgia. You know, the complicated fights and wars and occupation around, and I just think that we need to think these things through. And I think for every provocation, there's a response as well. So we can't look at it in a vacuum. People say, I don't care what Russia thinks, or I don't care what Tehran thinks. Well, if we don't understand our adversaries enough to think how they will respond, then I don't think we're doing our job.
I agree with you.
But as you can tell, I'm not excited about more military intervention in the Middle East. I think there has been some chastening.
Okay, I'm going to hit the top of the hour, every hour, 6-second ad break right now.
But I don't think you have completely gotten the idea that regime change has been a terrible disaster. It's created vacuums, chaos, and actually more terrorism.
If you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe, ladies and gentlemen.
Not just for the
after this, we're going to move on to some other news of the day.
Over to fight in these wars that go on forever and ever and ever, and somebody's got to stand up. And I hope you will be somebody brave enough to stand up.
There's a take between.
Appreciate what you said.
Between Paul and.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Next up is Senator Markey, who I'm told is joining us.
Ed Mackey. Okay, here's the ad. If you want to no longer see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for free with a Twitch Prime. Here is the ad now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, very much. Can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
I can hear you, Senator Markey. I can't see you, but your voice is well heard here.
Okay, thank you. Much appreciated.
I mean, he's well heard in the sense that, like, I had to take my hearing aid off.
Question. Aside from rejoining the WHO, which President-elect Biden has already committed to doing, what will the Biden administration do to ensure that the vaccine is disseminated quickly and fairly so that every country has a chance to protect their citizens regardless of their wealth?
Thank you, Senator. The President-elect has said that we are committed to making sure that, to the best of our ability, the vaccine is distributed properly and equitably. We intend to join COVAX. We believe strongly that we can do that, ensure that every American gets the vaccine, but also help make sure that others around the world who want it have access to it. The WHO.
I'm an AIM Labs fan.
Do you still consider Iran the largest state sponsor of terrorism?
I do.
Okay. Do you consider Israel a racist nation?
No, I do not.
Okay. That's a good start. Afghanistan. Do you agree that I agree totally with Senator Shaheen that if we abandon the Afghan women who fought so hard to have a say about the future of their children, it will affect our children's future. Do you agree with that?
I do.
If we've learned anything from Afghanistan, taking an eye off the ball doesn't really work well. And having 100,000 troops over there spending trillions of dollars really doesn't work well either. We're down to 2,500, a residual force with a counterterrorism mission. Do you think that's responsible at this point?
I know the President-elect wants to make sure that even as we pull back our forces, that we retain the capacity to deal with any reemergence.
And anything would be conditions-based.
That's correct.
Do you trust the Taliban to police al-Qaeda and ISIS regarding attacking America?
Trust is not a word that I would apply.
No, that's right. I agree with you. So any agreement that trusts the Taliban to police al-Qaeda and ISIS without us having some say, I think would be a bad deal.
The rottenest, tootinest cowpoke in town. Weren't these fuckers celebrating Trump pulling out troops? Let's be real, my friend. That was... I still don't know why Donald Trump genuinely wanted to do that. I still don't understand. It's one of those instances where I'm like, was he doing it because... Like, what was the reason why he was doing it? Like that, was he doing it because, like, he legitimately cares about the troops? No, I can't get myself to believe that because that's unbelievable. That would imply that Donald Trump cares about something, anything outside of himself. Would he be doing it because he wants to, as he has said himself, or not himself, but would he be doing it because he wants to potentially privatize that part of our imperial affairs? Yes, I do think that that is one reason, especially considering his administration or his own personal connection to Eric Prince, who's related to Betsy DeVos, his education secretary. I assume that Eric Prince's own stated goal was to privatize the Afghanistan war and other wars that we are engaging in its entirety. So I assume that's the reason why he wanted to pull troops out, so they could like completely privatize it. Biden and Kamala are doing a speech for COVID-19 memorial. Probably going to be Sleeper, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to watch that. And yes, I did see the girl accusing the black teenager of stealing her phone. What if Trump creates his own private mercenary army? No, he doesn't have that kind of manpower. Biden was crying at his farewell Delaware event today. Yeah, I saw.
Poets. They thought I did it because I'm Irish. I didn't do it for that reason. I did it because they're the best poets in the world. And James Joyce was said to have told a friend that when it comes his time to pass, when he dies, he said, Dublin will be written on my heart. Well, excuse the emotion, but when I die, Delaware will be written on my heart. And the hearts.
Bro, that is the worst thing to say, dude. I'm sorry. Delaware is literally just... Delaware is America's tax haven as a state, bro. Come on. Yo, that's like, when I die, New Jersey will be written on my heart. Like, that's something that you should be embarrassed. Like, that's something you should not be saying out loud. Let alone cry while you're saying it, dude. Oh my God, dude. It's more understandable to say New Jersey will be written on my heart than Delaware. Not a state Andy. It's like saying, when I die, Staten Island will be written on my heart. Yikes. Yikes, dude. Oh my God. Every single politician in that video you just played is left-handed. Coincidence? Secret society, maybe? Cali will be written on my heart. Like, California makes sense. It's a nice state. It's like a cool state. Delaware is like, is it a state? That should be called into question more often. It's the state where all boats come from. Or it's the state where all the corporations are because of its tax breaks. Can you let this man mourn in motherfucking peace? Bro, what is he mourning? I don't get it. He's mourning for a Delaware. Like, really? Really? I can't make fun of this being an emotional moment for him because he's fucking talking about He's crying about dying one day, and then stop being a California supremacist. He was talking about his son prior. Okay, but he's not talking about his son right now. That's even weirder. If he cried while he's talking about his son, that's one thing. That's a wonderful emotional moment. But like in the process of talking about his son, he starts crying about Delaware. That's so much worse. That's worse. This is really tone deaf, Hasan. Yikes. Yeah, you could fucking tone deaf me all you want. I don't give a shit, dude. Tone police me. Literally his hometown, you heartless monster. Oh, yeah? That's real interesting. How much time did he spend in Delaware talking about how Delaware was his hometown? Because while he was fucking running for office, I could have sworn he was from Scranton, Pennsylvania, baby. Born and bred. So weird. So weird how things like that happen. Like, shut the fuck up. These are politicians, bitch. Oh, God. I know Delaware is important to him. Not as important as Pennsylvania was to him while he was fucking campaigning, though. If he did this 1 year ago, chat would be ruthless. Yes, everyone is ready to be libbed the fuck up. Pennsylvania where is written on my heart. Yeah, don't fade the Biden train too long. Tons of potholes on that ride. What?
Yeah, well,
5 years ago, Fox talking heads laughed at me while I cut my CEO pay $1 million to pay all employees a living wage. They said it would be a failed social experiment. Just went on Fox talk about how our business has tripled since then.
I took $1 million pay cut so that everybody at the company could make at least $70,000 a year. And the company thrived. Our employee attrition was cut in half, which drastically increased our productivity. And everybody's lives got a lot better, but the company tripled in the last 6 years. So we've proven it can work, but during that time, the income inequality and wealth inequality has gone from bad to worse. In fact, just the other day, one of my employees told me there was a line of cars outside of his house, and he's 7.5 miles away from a food bank in Florida. And he's not far from Disney World, which just paid huge executive bonuses, has a stock at a high, and yet is laying off employees. And the food bank can't, service all the people that just lost their jobs. Right. And so what I worry about with my example is, did I actually do more harm than good? Because capitalism is dead in a way, because we've given socialism to the big companies and we've given capitalism to the people on the bottom. That's why I have advocated for things like universal basic income and help in terms of healthcare and education for the people, because we've already given that kind of help to the big corporations. Now it's time to help small business.
This is the fucking entry level that people should be on. Like, you're saying like based and whatnot, but like this is the entry level. This is the bottom of the floor. Like, this is anything beyond this, and you're not a part of the conversation in the real world. And I'm glad that he's able to say this on Fox Business, but like, just remember that what he's talking about makes sense. What he's talking about has proven time and time again to be successful. There are case studies in Japan and numerous other countries where like limiting work hours, for example, increases productivity. Like limiting workers, increasing workers' benefits, increases productivity, lowers attrition. So what he's doing is technically still pro-capitalist. Capitalists don't even want to do capitalism in the way that you're supposed to do it. That's the issue. Motherfuckers are crazy. They're just like, nah, it doesn't matter. I can make more. So, what? Shut the fuck up, pedos? Why? Did 99 Palace just make a new account just to start his own like little bait account? Too late. Gone. Dude, come on, this dude's trying at least. Yeah, no, I commend him. And I'm happy that he's doing this.
Businesses and regular people.
He just does, I don't know. I get little grift vibes from him a little bit, but who knows? In some other good news though, and this is good. This is good overall, but there was some more good news that I wanted to talk about here. Hold on one second. Huge upgrades in the Senate committees, POG. Also some big committee chairship since 2009. Banking, Chris Dodd. Sherrod Brown. Budget, Kent Conrad to Bernie Sanders. Finance, Max Baucus to Ron Wyden. Hard to overstate how much better today's moderate Dem senators are than those in 2009, especially on stimulus. Yo, this is a little bit lib shit, but it's also fucking true. Like, this is... I don't know how the fuck we got here. I talked about this with Joe Manchin before, and I guess this is in regards to the Joe Manchin take anyway, but like 2009 Joe Manchin, or like Joe Manchin of a decade past versus Joe Manchin today are two different fucking people. As far as important policy news this weekend goes, like Senator Joe Manchin went on inside West Virginia politics and kept the door open to higher stimulus checks up to $2,000, even though he does prefer they be targeted but didn't draw a red line, and called for spending as much as $4 trillion on infrastructure. $4 trillion on infrastructure spending is Green New Deal. That's it. That's what that is. Obviously, that's not what Joe Manchin wants. Clearly, that they would not want that. He would not want that. Cole Andy. But that is what that is. Okay? Remember, Green New Deal is an infrastructure bill. Green New Deal is a jobs bill. It's not a climate change bill. It is all of those other things. It's an infrastructure spending bill. It is a jobs provider bill. Okay? Remember, one of the best ways to get people on board with climate change is by fucking opening up the money cannon to renewable energy initiatives and making it so that they are more profitable in a similar way to fossil fuel industry is straight up backed by the government. It's a resolution, not a bill. Yes, it's nothing. It's basically a fucking it is basically a template, okay? It is a template. It is nothing right now. It is an outline. It is something that we should do. Do you understand? And I think that focusing on climate change from the point it's an empty promise. Oh god, it's so fucking stupid. There is nothing dumber than idiots who are like, I do realpolitik, my friend. And that means tax credits and tax credits only to those who are gentrifying low-income neighborhoods after attending an HBCU. That's the only way to do realpolitik, baby. Shut the fuck up, you stupid bitch. You don't know anything. You literally don't know anything. Shut up. Have a sense of fucking bettering tomorrow. Have a vision for once. Stop fucking poo-pooing others for having one and following through on it, only to take credit for it later when it does become realpolitik, when enough people actually get on board with it. You dumb fuck. So stupid. It is an initiative to create jobs law. Climate change is a secondary benefit law. Yes, that's the perfect way to approach climate change. What do I always say? You think motherfuckers are born with a bone in their body that literally makes them genetically only be able to do fracking? No. There is no genetic predisposition, as far as I know, to doing fracking and fracking only. Why the fuck do those Western Pennsylvania towns love fracking cum? Huh? Why do they love it in Ohio? Why do they love it in Oklahoma? That's because the government subsidizes this shit, and that's because it turns into a profitable business, and you can make $100,000 like a year in to working at one of these fucking oil rigs. That's it. That's the reason. Why is it so profitable? Because it's heavily subsidized. Okay? Those dudes, we shun this notion of like learn to code lol or retraining doesn't work. And there is truth to how retraining doesn't work. But the reality is those people that didn't have a job for the past fucking 10 years didn't all of a sudden go from working in the steel industry to fracking because, you know, oh, this is perfect. Retraining actually suspiciously works when it comes to retraining you to operate a rig, but retraining doesn't work when it comes to, I don't know, learning how to manufacture solar panels? Like, shut the fuck up. No, it would work if the government subsidized that instead of subsidizing the other thing. So I say, focus on increasing the efficiency of our renewable energy sector while simultaneously pumping money and funds into the renewable energy sector so that new jobs that we're creating for the energy development is created in the renewable energy sector, which already has a much larger fucking roof, okay? We have hit the max capacity when it comes to the fossil fuel sector. We're literally trying to squeeze rocks, quite literally and figuratively, trying to squeeze rocks to get as much fracking squeeze rocks and get water out of it, basically, oil out of it. That's where we're at with the fossil fuel industry. Instead, focus on the other area that is a growing sector with nearly 1,000 times more job openings. It's so dumb. Anyway, so that shit pisses me off. So I do think that the Green New Deal as a proposal, as an outline, as a theory, as an idea is a good way to go about it. Focusing on the job side of things is the best fucking way to push for renewable energy and to push for green energy. Okay? And trains. I fucking love trains. Can we have some high-speed rail, please? Holy mother of fuck. I want some high-speed fucking rail, dude. Anyway. So. I hope that is clear to all of you. Yeah, motherfucking chew, baby. So that's good. Infrastructure spending is good. The fact that moderate Dems are actually moving on infrastructure spending is good. But then again, Republicans say they want to spend money on infrastructure and it never happens, so who knows? I'm worried that a brief spike in inflation post-vaccine as every middle-class American tries to take a vacation, go to a concert, dine out at the same time when those brutalized industries having it scaled back up could revive debt phobia. Dems should act quick just in case. Also, the most conservative Dem in 2009 might have been a dude from Connecticut, but I think it's an underrated factor. Obama-era losses wiped out a ton of blue dogs with seniority. Yeah. The irony is that Obama's and Rahm Emanuel, spearheaded by Rahm Emanuel, Obama-era blue dog conservative Democrat mentality actually ended up creating big losses in those fucking blue dog Dem areas, so they lost their positions. And that still is going on, by the way. Claire McCaskill is a great example of this as well in this modern era. So while Democrats simultaneously say, oh, we're losing out fucking seats because defund the police, blah, blah, blah, like, the outcome is entirely different. Red area and purple district Democrats are losing fucking seats, and there are still instances where a very progressive Democrat can flip a fucking red district, like Katie Porter. Okay? Yeah, I hate Claire McCaskill so much. Potato. Anyway. I am done. What is Claire McCaskill's issue? Spelling, sorry. Claire McCaskill is a Republican, but runs on a Democratic ticket. And she lost in Missouri. And now she goes on Fox News, or not Fox News. Now she goes on MSNBC. Sorry. Freudian slip there. She goes on MSNBC to just shit on progressives. So many establishment Democrats are losing their grip on power and fucking constantly railing against progressives and basically trying to stop a progressive momentum from happening within the Democratic Party. And the reality is that the progressive momentum should not be stopped, but should literally be advocated for if you want to actually win. right now, as it stands, the Democratic Party should be beefing up every fucking winnable easy district with hardliner socialist or socialist adjacent Democrats, okay? There should be an AOC in every fucking easy district. There should be an AOC or an Ed Markey, or Ed Markey is the like literal entry point for me. There should be Sherrod Browns and Ed Markeys in conservative districts, and there should be Bernie Sanders's in like Dianne Feinstein's seat. You understand? That is how we are supposed to operate. That is what a smart party that wants to win would do. You fucking pad the decks. You stack the deck with as many progressives as possible in areas that are easy to fucking win, in areas that are easy to defend, and then you slowly but surely start shifting the Overton window back to the goddamn left. Center it. Actually center the Overton window in the middle if you want to. And then some. Why the fuck would we put socialists in power for Dem districts when they can't even win a primary? No one likes them, and that's why they aren't in power. That's really interesting that you say that, considering that I'm giving you very popular politicians that are either socialists themselves or at least social democrats, like legitimate social democrats, while simultaneously showing you conservative Democrats that have lost their fucking races. So if you are unaware of the issue itself on the ground, then I don't know what else to tell you. Also, you have to remember that the organizing initiatives for socialists or organizing initiatives for actual progressive Democrats that are social democrats, for example, has been limited. The funding is limited. It always has to be grassroots funded. And it hasn't been a real thing until recently. So shut the fuck up. If you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, you can fucking make, you can say like, oh, it's not the truth. It doesn't matter, all you want. But left-wing Democrats are able to make massive gains with very little in comparison to conservative Democrats that literally lose after spending hundreds of millions of fucking dollars on races. Yeah, if moderates are so popular, how come they lost so many fucking seats, dude? I love that, like, moderates under the leadership of Nancy Pelosi lost so many fucking seats. And even when they lost the fucking seats, they turned around and they were like, this is the progressives' fault. It's always the progressives' fault somehow. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. It's so stupid. It's like, it's actually the progressives' fault when they lose in moderate districts is actually a progressive fault. Like, bitch, they literally called Reverend Raphael Warnock a fucking anti-American communist, and he still won. What the fuck are you saying? What are you saying? Maybe just fucking stick to the goddamn issues instead of trying to hurt the left within your own ranks when the left is doing more than you in winning these seats. In Georgia, by the way, our 11th black senator in American history is from motherfucking Georgia. Okay? Heart of the Confederacy. You think AOC is popular in West Virginia? Lol, there's a reason why Joe Manchin won. Brother, if we look up AOC's popularity in West Virginia and compare it to Nancy Pelosi is less popular than AOC. So shut the fuck up. AOC is the least popular. AOC. Nancy Pelosi is one of the least popular politicians in the country. 2/3 of the entire country believe she should be replaced. And you're over here talking about AOC this, AOC that in fucking West Virginia. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Even if AOC's not fucking popular, her policies are popular, okay? Even in fucking West Virginia. Why? Why do you put yourself up for such an idiotic argument that is so easily diffused by a counterpoint that shows that, like, your fucking person, the person that you hail as a fucking leader and think is decent, is infinitely less popular than AOC? Speaker Nancy Pelosi is the #1 issue in tight West Virginia House race, dude. Back from 2010. And historically, too, by the way. Your counterpoint was shut the fuck up? Really? That's all you got? I feel like when I deliver a counterpoint and then I say shut the fuck up after that, oftentimes people just hear like, blah, blah, blah, blah, blah, shut the fuck up. Blah, blah, blah, blah, blah. Like, you don't hear anything I'm saying. Like, you don't hear the actual points that I make, and then you just hyper focus on the ad hominem because you're like, oh my God, he made an ad hominem attack, which means his argument is now illogical. Like, he actually was right, though. What you said is regarding policies, and it's true as well, and doesn't diffuse his point. It absolutely does diffuse his point. If his point is we need to have moderate Democrats in all of these fucking seats, and that's why AOC is unpopular, because these people want, like, tax cuts for the wealthy, and they are reasonable and moderate. And that is before we get to the fucking moral argument about what leaders should do. Okay? If AOC is the progressive candidate and Nancy Pelosi is the centrist person, and the centrist is less popular than the progressive, albeit both are unpopular in West Virginia, then why the fuck would you ever launch that as a counterpoint?
Tired of marching for something that should have been mine at birth. I have a dream.
That dream that I had that day has at many points turned into a nightmare.
We have stood up for nonviolence with all of our hearts, and those who...
Wait. Who the fuck know AOC in West Virginia? A lot of people do. The only reason why people know who AOC is in all these districts is because Republicans have tried to vilify her, and in some instances have been successful at vilifying her. By the way, that same argument extends to the Nancy Pelosi as well. Okay? I'm letting you know that that same argument also, of course, extends to Nancy Pelosi. But how do you counter that? Do you counter that by acting like Nancy Pelosi and saying as though like the opposition is actually reasonable, or like in the way that moderate Democrats operate, as though like, you know, we need to be more Republican to win over Republicans? Or is the counter to launch your own year-round and not just every 4 years political messaging campaigns to fucking vilify Republicans all the goddamn time and reframe the narrative back to these are progressive policies, these will help you, and here's exactly how they will help? It's the second one, by the way. I worked that 2010 House race, Morgantown, West Virginia, mountain mamas all over the place. Yeah, I know. West Virginia doesn't, and by the way, West Virginia, pound for pound, doesn't know what's good for West Virginia. Sorry, there's plenty of fucking awesome West Virginians in my chat right now, and they will probably tell you the exact same thing, okay? It's literally, West Virginia is a developing nation in and of itself. The people of West Virginia live in absolute fucking dire circumstances, in straight up horrific poverty, and yet they still fucking end up voting for reactionary politicians. So maybe it's time to, I don't know, bring back fucking unionization in West Virginia. Maybe it's time to find a different economy for West Virginia, a different industry to find for West Virginia that will make it a stronghold for democratic policies and democratic politicians once again. Because it's the lack of unions in West Virginia is that has created the situation where there are reactionary psychopaths over there. They are straight up Pepega over there, like the West Virginia voters. What is inherently bad about reactionary politics? It's conservatism. It's what do you mean? It's regressive. It is a reaction to progress. No industry unionized? No. Not only does there need to be a new industry in West Virginia that is not fucking coal-based, but also on top of that, it needs to be unionized. Once coal mining unions went down, so did the intelligence of the whole state. I'm from West Virginia. People would rather sell meth than vote for their best interest. Yeah. Dude, watching, like one of the most powerful videos we've ever watched on this broadcast was when that fucking British dude who literally works in like Somalia and shit that airdrops healthcare to areas of the world that are in dire need of healthcare actually went and did dental work on the people of West Virginia inside of a fucking stadium. Like they literally helicoptered in healthcare to West Virginia, motherfucker. We're not talking about Zimbabwe. We're talking about West Virginia, in the wealthiest nation on earth. Okay? These people that live in like huts in the middle of fucking West Virginia, in the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, straight up drove down into town and had to get their dental work done by an NGO, basically, that was doing it for fucking free for them. Because there's no other way to do it. There's no... You almost did the Hank Hill voice? Yeah, or whatever. It's horrible. It's fucking horrible. Like, don't ever tell me you're a goddamn patriot if that shit doesn't hurt your soul, dude. Like, how can you say you care about your fellow man? You care about even Americans. And I don't even just care about Americans. I care about everyone. Okay? But don't ever fucking tell me you care about Americans when you see those fucking hogs over there suffering. Okay? And you consistently continue with that same order of the economy, the same organization of the economy that has put them in that situation to begin with. It's so unpatriotic, dude. Still calls them hogs? I mean, damn, some of them are hogs, motherfucker. What do you want me to do, lie? Is poverty in the only way out in those communities coal mining? Yeah, but coal mining has had significant reduction in available jobs, not only because of like its environmental impact, which is certainly a huge problem that cannot be avoided, but also because of automation. Okay? You don't have to use a fucking pickaxe and like chip away at coal anymore. That's the whole point. Shit's fucking automated. So what are you gonna do? Show me about an area in southern Kentucky where you still have to go to the springs to collect water and live in broken down wooden shacks and shit. Their public outreach programs were building outhouses because they had nowhere to go to the bathroom and no running water at all. Same in Alabama. There's black neighborhoods in Alabama that do not have running water. That literally do not have running water. Just no one has built it. There's places in America there are towns, there are entire towns and enclaves in America that literally live in the third world, that live in straight up developing nation type circumstances. A lot of those are red areas, by the way. Very, very red, very rural areas. I thought automation was good. Yes, automation is good. Automation is great.
There's not much of a future here.
The border between Mexico and the United States, it's this. This is it.
Aquí en este solar donde yo vivo, aquí donde realmente casi donde estoy parado mataron a una persona.
It's kind of difficult because of the jobs. There's not too many here in Escobares, so we're kind of going down.
Tienes que salir fuera de aquí para poder agarrar un trabajo bueno. Yo tengo 7 años trabajando por una compañía de basura. Es un trabajo un poco pesado. No me importa que sea la basura, no me da pena. Crece, no quiere decir por los negocios, o crece a veces por la mafia, hay mucha delincuencia. Aquí en este solar donde yo vivo, aquí donde realmente casi donde estoy parado mataron a una persona.
This is the border between the United States and Mexico. See how peaceful it is now? You can hear the birds chirping. It wasn't always the border. It is now because of some treaty that happened somewhere.
If these areas vote red, arguably against their best interests, does that indicate a failure of the opposing party to provide adequate aid, or is it something else? Yes. I believe in changing what I can. Okay? And I've already given up on changing the Republican Party. I know that they're not going to change. But at least I can hold Democrats accountable to actually follow through on the values that they espouse. And if they don't do that, then I need to inform people that they are lying and they're cheating and they're simply acting like they're progressives. And in a lot of cases, Democrats simply only aesthetically appeal to progressive legislation and progressive policies and progressive beliefs and never engage in following through. Okay? But that is true. I think that the reason why a lot of these areas that are completely broken down, the reason why they are constantly finding themselves in the throes of reactionary politicians is because their outreach is just simply better. Their outreach is better. They do a better job with appealing to their sensibilities. And the opposition party does not do anything for them, doesn't say anything to them, doesn't actually fucking follow through on any of the promises that could help them. First, you have to start by telling them, and it's an uphill battle. Okay? It is an uphill battle. I will not lie to you. But first, you have to start off by describing to them why these progressive policies would be helpful. Then and this is a year-round initiative. This is not something that you do every 4 fucking years when you remember that poor people exist in this border town. Okay? This is something that got to do all the time. Republicans don't fucking campaign every 4 years. They campaign year-round. They never stop campaigning. That's why when you look at like QAnon rallies, like I do, for example, when you look at flyers on Facebook for QAnon rallies, you'll see them talking about like, you'll see Republicans talking about like, pedophile Democrats and whatnot, and that's what they're rallying for. And then all of a sudden you have like a fucking, comptroller for the 11th district or some shit that's also at that rally. And what is she talking about? School choice. The fuck do those hogs know about school choice? Why are they talking about school choice? Because they're doing the fucking work. Because the Republicans are literally constantly educating their voters on what the talking points are. They're constantly educating their voters on what the actual policies that they should be on board with are. They do this by tagging along the reactionary, psychopathic QAnon conspiracies. They will even use QAnon rallies to agitate and advocate for the Republican Party and the Republican Party's horrible policy agenda. Democrats don't do anything compared to that. Like, Democrats do not do anything that is near that. Do you understand?
In our history, and every time you have a border, you're going to have problems because
this area votes Democrat. I'm just using this as an example. First of all, A lot of the border towns in Texas literally lowered their support for the Democratic Party with Donald Trump as president. So remember that next time you say some shit. And the reason for that is because, one, Texas's Latino outreach is remarkable. It's literally at the forefront of the Republican Party's Latino outreach. They've been experimenting for a very long time. And you can very easily say, well, that's because Latinos in Texas and in Arizona or in other parts of the country are actually very socially conservative. True. Especially older Latinos are socially conservative. Except they also are very, very economically progressive. They are in favor of big government. Latinos, Hispanics in the United States of America, with the exception of Cubans and some living in like wealthier neighborhoods, are one of the biggest advocates for more government spending, for more social safety nets. Literally, straight up. So if you don't hit them on, if you don't offer them something, and the other side is like, you know, hammering on the social conservatism. And by the way, if you don't believe me, you can ask those in the Texas Republican Party that are leading the outreach. This is not my take. This is takes backed by empirical evidence. Okay, numerous studies conducted on Latino voters and their demographic affinity patterns, like their affinities towards certain policy positions. But also, this is something that Republicans constantly talk about, where in order to get Latinos to avoid the interest that they have in like social safety nets expanding, they only hammer on the Catholicism. They only hammer on abortion. They only hammer on social conservatism. Okay? But Democrats don't do the opposite. Democrats only talk about how, you know, well, Trump is bad because he said Mexicans are rapists. And for some people, that works. Of course, for some Latinos, that works. Obviously, that is going to work. But a lot of fucking Latinos don't consider themselves to be, and we already know this, Latino first. They consider themselves to be American. You know? And that's normal and it's understandable. Second generation, third generation immigrants completely assimilate to the culture. So they fucking are like, yeah, well, okay, Trump is saying, you know, a lot of racist shit about Latinos, but, you know, I live in these communities and there are some fucking fuckhead Latinos here. And, you know, some of them do need to see the long dick of the law. It's the same with, and it's not dissimilar to like older black voters in southern areas and their predisposition towards conservative politics. Okay. Then there's also white Hispanics that have different approaches to. The Hispanic and Latino voter bloc is impossible to comprehend as a monolith, barring certain things that I already mentioned. Right? So you can't just win the Latino vote by saying like, well, Trump is racist. And that's why you have to vote for us. It doesn't fucking work that way. And it's not even going to be able to work that way for the black vote as well. And the black vote does actually approach monolithic status in many ways, historically speaking. And even that's going away. If you look at younger black voters do not have party loyalty in the same way that older black voters do. So if you want to keep getting these people to vote for you, you got to, one, make it easier for them to be able to vote. And two, offer them something beyond, well, the other side is way more fucking racist. Okay? Yabancıysan neden ismin Hasan abi? Bilmem abi. Neden olabilir sence? Bir düşün bakayım. Biraz bir düşün, belki anlarsın. Ayrıca yabancıysam nasıl sana İngilizce yazmazsan nasıl sana cevap vereceğim abi? Huh? I can't believe there's still fucking Turks in here that are like, what the fuck? Why is this guy's name HasanAbi? But they write it in Turkish. And if I was actually a foreigner who didn't speak Turkish, then how the fuck would I understand what you're saying in the chat? Especially if it's a question you're directing at me. I live in Texas and we get a ton of conservative transplants in blue states. They've been talking about how they're going to lose the state to next generation Texas natives who will vote blue. We're a threat. Yeah, the irony of Texas voting is if you look at Texas voter patterns, for example, with the Beto O'Rourke versus Ted Cruz race, where Ted Cruz ended up narrowly defeating Beto O'Rourke, native Texans voted for Beto O'Rourke, whereas transplant Texans, like first-generation Texans, literally are more conservative than the native Texans. It's immigration into Texas from other states, other conservatives from other states that are coming into Texas that are fucking up the Texan vote. Nice snipe. He didn't even tag you. That's a no-scope. Oh, you already know, brother. Does HasanAbi mean Hasan streaming? Google Translate kind of helped? No, it didn't. It didn't help you. Anladım abi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Abi cevap verecek misin diye merak ettim. Verdim işte. I started this whole stun lock, so I apologize to chat for this, but you never actually answered my point. Why should the Dems run more progressives when they are such a small caucus right now? Well, they were a nearly non-existent caucus, and they are becoming a more sizable caucus now. Things take time. This kind of growth, especially when you adjust it to the current political climate and the opinion that most politicians had towards socialism, the negative association that they have with it after years and years of Red Scare, means that, like, there is a pretty big fucking progressive wave occurring currently. Okay? And the reason why I say Dems should run more progressives when there's such a small caucus is because Democrats running progressives in more progressive districts will have a similar effect to Republicans running more conservatives in conservative districts. Okay? It shifts the Overton window back to the moderate position actually being in the center, or hopefully in the center left. How do you not recognize this? Because if Democrats keep running right, and Republicans certainly keep running further and further right, all you're going to have is a more right-wing country. And I think some liberals like that. I think some liberals want to have the moral, I guess, the moral higher, the moral upper hand, the moral advantage, right? By saying that they're a liberal and they want to vote Democrat, while simultaneously the moral high ground, yes, sorry, that's the word I was looking for. The moral high ground to say, like, oh, well, I'm voting for Democrat, so I'm a good person, and Republicans are bad persons, while also wanting to vote for conservative fucking ideas. Native Texan here, grew up on a ranch, but realized Republicans do literally nothing for ranchers. Started down that route, and then how do so many fucking Texans watch me do the Hank Pecker accent? I'll never understand. I feel like it's got to be triggering. But then again, Irish people watch me fucking do top of the hour every hour. Started down that route, and now I am in a Democratic Socialist with both my parents on Social Security and begging me for money every month because they did income tax evasion. Which, by the way, it is top of the hour, every hour. Time for a 60-second ad break, ladies and gentlemen.
People on this side are going to say it's illegal.
And if you no longer want to see the ads, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5. Or you can do it for free. And if you wonder how you can do it for free, well, I got an answer for you, brother. You can do it for free with your Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon account to your Twitch account. You get one free Twitch Prime ad. This way you can avoid the ads. Here's the ad break.
This and this and that. And the people on the other side are going to say, well, it's illegal to bring those things over here. This is what it's like to live here on the border.
Escobares.
Aquí se convirtió en ciudad, pero pues mi vida no ha cambiado mucho, ¿no? Pues hay mucha necesidad en esta área y mucha delincuencia. Se oyen tiros, así, ¿verdad? Balazos, balacera.
Aquí no hay cambios, aquí lo que todos se están quejando, no hay trabajo. No hay que comer, pero gracias a Dios que tengo una familia que me han dado de comer.
The employment opportunities are very limited. We don't have any other big industries here. We hope someday somebody will see the opportunity to come here and set up a big company of some sort where our people can have a job. That is our biggest dream.
Something potentially transformational is happening today. Schumer and Merkley are introduced S1, the Senate version of HR1, a massive voting rights and money in politics bill, independent districting and matching funds. All shoulders to the oars for this one. I've mentioned on some panels I've been on recently that this has to be a key policy priority. The opposite of Trump isn't not Trump. It's actually building a functioning democracy where oligarchs and vote suppression doesn't rule. This says small donor matching program, a pilot voucher program, and voting rights. It's what Congressman Lewis was working on before he died. Please call your lawmakers and say yes on HR1/S1. What is this? Hold on. If Apple were a worker cooperative, each employee would earn at least $403,000. That's in 2014. Holy shit. That's janitors. As a native Texan, we love your spunk and aspirations of freedom. People have not internalized how transformational this bill will be if it passed effectively, ends reliance on corporate and wealthy donors for congressional campaigns. It only passed the House in 2019 because of opponents knew it wouldn't become law and didn't want to vote against it. But with enough sunlight, they could be forced to stick with their vote. I mean, even if it doesn't have transformational finance regulations, like campaign finance regulations, the voter rights part of it alone, which is a restoration of the original voting rights act, will be really good for future races. Republicans will, of course, push back against this no matter what. They will never, ever in a million years allow this to pass. But is this a good thing? Does this get a Haas stamp? Yes. Yeah, but that screws campaigns like John Ossoff, right? So what? What? Okay. Why wouldn't Republicans want something like this? Why wouldn't Republicans want something like this? The entire way that Republicans win any elections is by dark money, by redistricting, by limiting fucking who can vote in certain districts. They eat hot chip and lie. That's it. Like, Republicans very openly, including Donald Trump, very openly stated, if you remember, during the COVID crisis, in the peak of the COVID crisis, when we were talking about ease of access to vote by universal mail-in registration, a thing that should exist in this country. For some reason that does not. And it exists in certain states. Utah, Colorado, I think Florida maybe? Well, Florida has ease of mail-in ballot and early voting, but maybe not universal. Oregon, Washington. So this is a concept that already exists, and mail-in ballots already exist. And pairing that together and advocating for that meant more people were going to have the opportunity to vote, right? And Republicans were in opposition to that. They were like, why the fuck? We would never allow that to happen. And Donald Trump said, and I quote, if we allow universal mail-in registration and early, mail-in voting, Republicans will never win an election ever again. And he was fucking right. He openly stated it. He said, we will never win again. And that's why we don't have it. Just like the reason why we currently have the Electoral College is because it has offered victory to the Republicans despite the popular vote going to the Democrats twice now. In the past 2 decades. That's fucking nuts. That's insane, dude. And that was closest to happening in 2020. Yeah. Right now, as it stands, the way that the Electoral College works right now, Democrats have to have at least a 4-point minimum. Democrats need to at least have 4% more people vote for them to even win the fucking Electoral College outright. How insane is that? Like, it gives them a 4%. The way that the map is designed changes, obviously, with states swinging and swing states changing and whatnot. But like, it's fucking insane that like Republicans have a 4+ point advantage in the way that this Electoral College system currently works. That's insanity. And the only reason why we haven't changed it is because it favors Republicans, and that's it. The tipping point was to the left of the popular vote in 08 and 12, to be fair. What do you mean? In 2008, Barack Obama didn't lose the popular vote. What are you talking about? I don't know why people say that. Like, yeah, the Republicans have won one popular vote in 20 years, but have held office for 12 years, dude. When you think about the Senate, it becomes even more insane because that inequality is literally built into the structure of the Senate, where California has the same amount of senators as like fucking 5 states combined that don't even make up their amount of their population. It's insane. It's complete insanity. Motherfucking Montana, Wyoming, like North Dakota, South Dakota. It's crazy. Okay? So that shit is built into the Senate, and then it's not even enough that is built, that inequality is built in the Senate. Then Republicans engage in what is known, and Democrats do this too, but mostly Republicans do this very successfully, engages what is known as redistricting, i.e. also known as gerrymandering, where they literally carve out districts in a way that favors Republican politicians. So, again, like they brought that inequality into the House as well. They do it all the fucking time. They do it everywhere they goddamn can. That's how the Senate works, right? Yes, that is how the Senate works. But that's not how the House is supposed to work, for example. But they try to make it so that works that way. State legislatures are fucked too. Like, so never forget that when Republicans say, "Oh, we can't have direct democracy in this country because that would be the tyranny of majority," what they're basically saying is, "Oh no, we want tyranny of minority because it favors us." That's it. We want the tyranny of minority to continue. The image you're talking about? Oh, yeah, here. Maybe a bunch of white slave owners with the 1700s does not come up with the best government ever. 40 million people, 46 senators, 40 million people, 2 senators. How is it tyranny of minority if they win 49% of the vote? It's literally half and half. Wait. Are you serious? That is the minority. And secondly, it's not 49%, regardless. I just told you that Democrats at least need Republicans have a 4-point handicap. Okay? We're just talking about voter eligible population, or we're just talking about people who actually end up voting, okay? Out of the people who end up voting within the voter eligible population, the Democratic Party has a 4-point, or the Republican Party has a 4-point handicap. As in, it's not fucking 49 to 51. But even if it was 49 to 51, that would still be that would literally still be the minority. Trump received 43% of the electoral votes and 47% of votes. He has more votes without the electoral. How do you fix the Senate when it's so horribly rigged like this? Less than 24 hours until Trump is out of the office. We need the crab dance. And by the way, I think that we shouldn't. We should be off with the electoral college. Like, it doesn't matter if it fucking favors Republicans or Democrats. If senators can't represent Wyoming, then who can in a significant manner? The bigger problem here is that rural states are so red, which could be a platform issue. Okay. First of all, this notion, I mean, even if you're going to keep the Senate, as far as the Electoral College goes, like, it's ridiculous to say that the Electoral College lays out a more proportional representation for smaller states, because you literally never in a million years would make that argument for fucking Alabama. Like, what, you think Alabama is getting a lot of activity as a consequence of the Electoral College? No. Do you think Florida is a small state, and that's why there's so much foot traffic in Florida? That's why there's so much campaigning happening in Florida? No. The Electoral College does not benefit small states. The Electoral College benefits Republicans because it benefits swing states. Okay? So even if you weren't going to change the Senate, which is not going to happen regardless, Alabama actually is, though things like the Redstone Arsenal, Huntsville just got Space Command through pork. I don't agree with it, but it's something. There's still outstanding issues in the power sharing agreement that Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer are trying to hash out, one of which are assurances that McConnell wants to ensure the filibuster remains intact. Schumer wants to follow 2001 rules when the Senate was 50-50. I mean, don't negotiate with fucking Mitch McConnell. You don't need them. Shut the fuck up. You don't need them. Mitch McConnell is never going to help you. Give him assurances and lie to him and then fucking take it back if you want to do that. But don't we need the checks and balances to stop the tyranny of majority, or will the Senate or something stop that? Like, what is the tyranny of majority? The counter to the tyranny of majority is the tyranny of minority, by the way. Like, there is... Like, you're talking about the tyranny of majority. Okay, well, I would rather have a dictatorship of the proletariat than a dictatorship of the bourgeoisie. I would rather have the tyranny of majority than the tyranny of minority. One is less democratic. The other one is literally democracy. Okay? Republicans are so fucking off the sauce that they literally say things like, you know, democracy, a democratic process, which is the tyranny of the majority, is a bad thing. And people follow along with that. So yes, democracy is tyranny of majority. Socialism is a dictatorship of the proletariat. By and for the proletariat. Healthcare and social safety nets equals tyranny. Yeah. I want to be so fucking tyrannical, dude. If I had the power, I would be the most tyrannical motherfucker, dude. Oh my God. You don't understand. I would be so tyrannical with a nationalized healthcare system. Oh, baby. Oh my God. Everyone gets dental checkups if they want to. Everybody gets their healthcare provided to them. Oh, baby. The tyranny I would enforce on these people that do not want it. They'd be like, no, please don't give me healthcare, sir. I do not want it. I want diabetes. I want to die at the age of 58 because I'm sucking in horrible poisonous gases in my neighborhood. And I'd be like, fuck that. We are going to clean your motherfucking air, bitch, whether you like it or not. Okay? God damn, I'd be so tyrannical, dude. Fuck. I would punish every fucking hog. I would punish every fucking hog conservative with delicious health care, with fair wages. Oh my God, with actual fucking political power, with an ease of unionizing every industry, dude. Fuck, they would hate it so much. They'd be like, no, you're punishing me now that I have more political power. Why are you doing this to me? I fucking hate it. No. Oh my God, dude. Oof. With free education. Fuck, I hate that. I do not want to learn how to be homosexual in college. This is George Orwell. This is what George Orwell talked about in the Animal Crossing, brother. He said you're going to get free education. Oh, I hate it. I hate that George Orwell, 1967, 1987, all of the 19 years. That's like saying every single law is excluding someone. Like, laws that revolve around murder exclude those who want to do murder. So you can look at it that way, or you can look at it a different way where you say, well, some kind of exclusion is not bad necessarily for, you know, society to form and develop. That's why I think like the fucking tyranny of majority is hilarious. Turnip Queen 66, majority isn't always right. The balance of the tyranny of majority is the courts and Bill of Rights that are intended to guarantee each citizen certain protections. Sure. But what you're referencing is not the... What you're referencing isn't the fucking democratic process. The democratic process is supposed to have a tyranny of majority. The courts are... Like, what you're referencing is non-exclusive. Like, they're not mutually exclusive. Wanted you to watch it for months. Really good video on left the channel in general about worker co-ops. No. Yeah, I heard earlier today that Marjorie Taylor Greene, the QAnon congresswoman, is also a Parkland denier. I'm sure she'll say that that's not the case anymore, though, because, like, there's no fucking way you can still say that. But who knows? I saw this earlier today. Great. Democrats are going in on Schumer for doing this power sharing shit. Black organizers did not bust their butts and turn out to vote for in their community so the Senate Democrats can share Republicans the power we won from them at the ballot box. Hell no. The two top Senate leaders are near their power sharing agreement to hash out how the evenly divided chamber will operate, with Democrats in charge of setting the schedule, but both parties likely to hold an equal number of seats in the Senate committees. According to sources familiar with the talks, the negotiations between Democratic leader Chuck Schumer and Republican leader Mitch McConnell have been built largely around how the Senate operated last time the body was split 50-50. When George W. Bush initially became president in 2001, final details are still being sorted out between the two leaders, sources said. Allowing bills and nominations to advance the Senate floor, even if they are tied during committee votes, something that could become common given that each party is expected to have the same number of seats on committees. Wait, Mitch McConnell didn't do that. I mean, it wasn't evenly shared, but still, I don't think... I don't... When you have the majority, you shouldn't do that. Like, Mitch McConnell would never do that. Maybe I'm misunderstanding it. It's not a majority. I mean, it's 50-50, but who fucking cares? Does this matter? Even the bills reach the floor and Dems can just vote against it? No, it does matter. And the way it matters is Mitch McConnell, because he had a narrow majority in the Senate, was able to stop bills from even reaching the floor, which is a very, very important power to have in your hand. It depends on the type of the bill, but I don't even know if Chuck Schumer would use that regardless.
And yes, 10 or so Republicans did this as well. We'll have more on that in a bit. Congresswoman, I understand, though, you have something
I'll be back.
pressing, something important, and something new you'd like to share with everybody.
Yes, I would like to announce on behalf of the American people, we have to make sure that our leaders are held accountable. We cannot have a president of the United States that is willing to abuse the power of the office of the presidency and be easily bought off by foreign governments, foreign Chinese energy companies, Ukrainian energy companies. So on January 21st, I will be filing articles of impeachment on Joe Biden.
Wow. Articles of impeachment on Joe Biden on his first full day as president. I'm looking at Hunter very well. And yes, 10 or so Republicans did this as well. We'll have more on that in a bit. Congresswoman, I understand, though, you have something pressing, something important, and something new you'd like to share with everybody.
Yes, I would like to announce on behalf of the American people, we have to make sure that our leaders are held accountable. We cannot have a president of the United States that is willing to abuse the power of the office of the presidency and be easily bought off by foreign governments, foreign Chinese energy companies, Ukrainian energy companies. So on January 21st, I will be filing articles of impeachment on Joe Biden.
Wow.
Hell yeah, dude. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Okay. Let's do it. Fuck it. That's right. Why did she say Chinese like that? Why do you think? Is that Hank Pecker's wife? Yeah. This was her apology. Gun-free school zones are a failure. Oh, she did I called it, baby. I fucking called it. There's no way. I called it. There's no fucking way. Listen. She's out of her goddamn mind, but like, there are certain lines that you cannot cross, right? There are certain lines you can't cross. Like, she might be fucking wilding out on the timeline about like QAnon stuff to a certain point, but you cannot literally be like, I am a denier of school shootings, and I think that they're all fucking, these operations made by the government or something. Like, you can't dive into that part of the Alex Jones world and still, like, you literally cannot do that anymore. Like, there is a point, and that is cross that point. You, my friend, have crossed that point. You can't do that. It's not working. Feel me? Anyway. Not shocking in the least bit. Not surprising in the least bit. It's a fake apology? Yes, it is a fake apology. Oh, this was pretty funny. This was funny as fuck. I mean, it's funny in the sense that, like, fascism is funny. But our Secretary of State, ladies and gentlemen, I always love when people, God, first of all, we really, if we're going to put a ban on something, we should put a ban on people that look like Fred Flintstone. We should stop them from running for positions of power or even getting appointed, okay? Like, why is it that, like, the entirety of Trump's cabinet looks like fucking Yabba Dabba Doo Andes, dude? Literally, they all look like high school quarterback prom king rejects that now are in positions of power, okay? So I see this quote, and I think Yabba Dabba Doo. Like, that's all he's saying. You just lost the radical amprims. Anyway, he goes, censorship, wokeness, and political correctness. It all points in one direction, authoritarianism cloaked as moral righteousness. So, I love that the Secretary of State, from a U.S. government account, fucking tweeted out wokeism as a word. Like, he used wokeism. And here is the fucking point I'm going to make. First of all, this is racist as shit. Okay, multiculturalism is not what America is. What are you, like, literally just fucking saying you're a fascist? I'm so confused. Like, how can you straight up come out and be like the wokeism part is funny. This part, not so much. America is literally built on, some fundamental principles like white supremacy, slavery, genocide of indigenous people, but also multiculturalism. Okay? It's probably the only good quality of the United States of America, if you think about all the fundamental principles. Now, for the founding principles. So to go back on that, the one good part, and then only focus on the bad parts, is pretty fucking fascist, if you ask me. But the hilarity here is that a government account said wokeism, and I would rather have, like, inept secretaries of state do this fucking bullshit culture war shit and fail to do coups in Bolivia or fail to do coups in fucking Venezuela than have a Secretary of State that is very good at doing coups in those places, but, you know, says the right things domestically. You understand? Because like a modern day Henry Kissinger is going to be one that literally tells you you're racist if you think that, like, you know, why are you not allowing industrious Contras to take up arms and, you know, and gain autonomy? Like, why do you not want brown people to fight for their rights? Sweaty. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be like the woke American State Department. Hilarious that you also had the State Department call out China for Uyghur genocide today as well. As Asita said, isn't that just them taking care of their multiculturalism problem? Yes, that's exactly what it is. In the same fucking day that he said this, he posted this, he also called out correctly China for what they're engaging in with their own multiculturalism problem. China, of course, notoriously holds up America as a beacon of example and dealing with Muslim separatists and Muslim radicals, for the record. Like, for those dengists and pro-China tankies in my audience, always remember that Xi Jinping, when questioned on why they were taking such violent approaches to dealing with the Uyghur Muslims, said, well, we learned from America on how to deal with radical Muslims. With radical, violent Islamist terrorists. It's pronounced Uyghur. No, it's pronounced Uyghur, you dumb fuck. Half of my family's last name is literally Uyghur. Okay? Why are you, an American, telling me, a Turkish person, how a Turkic name is supposed to be pronounced? What level of irony are you on? Are you high on crack that you think you, as an American, is like Turk-splaining to me how to fucking say a group of people's names when literally my last name, my family's fucking last name is Uyghur? Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway. Still sounds more like Uyghur than whatever the fuck you originally said. Uyghur? Uyghur? Sounds like Uyghur? I said Uyghur. Because that's how Americans fucking fail to pronounce it. Because there's a U in the front of it. Are you and Jank on good terms after leaving TYT? Yes. Why wouldn't we be? He's my uncle. Chat, do you guys have a take on how to spell my uncle's name too? Like how to say my uncle's name? I'm assuming someone's gonna be like, Actually, Sweaty, it's not jank, but it's chink. Or it's kank. Or it's sank. You don't know how it's pronounced because you're wrong. It's chunk, Sweaty. Anyway. One of the oh, dude, I've been watching Lupin, by the way. Lupin, whatever. Arsène Lupin. And it's been really good, but it's starting to get a little bit more sleeper now. Daddy Pop and Spitting Facts. It's been getting a little bit more sleeper, but I cannot help but tell you why I love the show, because the name of the fucking character is Hasan.
That's absolutely not.
Hasan.
I will continue to order my omelets. Because that's what I do.
Cooking can be fun. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people find it very relaxing to cook.
But what about cleaning after you're done cooking?
That's always, you get married or something.
Dude, his dad has the best mustache. Like, that is such a respectable mustache, dude. That is such a fucking respectable mustache. It's so good. It's so fucking good. Respect. So does family, and I don't know what their political leanings are at all, but his mom and dad totally fucking remind me of, from what I've seen, totally remind me of like Texas progressives. Remember that we were watching the like Texas liberals, definitely. They're very liberal, yeah. Cause yeah, he reminds me of, I can't even talk. He reminds me of the dude that we were watching the other night. Remember the fucking guy who basically cracked an egg on a rock? What is it called again? What was the beard hair guy? Like, you can tell, like Willie Nelson types. Yeah, exactly. Primitive cooking, that, yeah, exactly. That type of thing.
Will I make omelets? Absolutely not. I will continue.
They're literally Texas former hippies. Yeah. Oscar Daddy popping. I gotta sneeze. Oh. Oh. Twitch just made PogChamp KomodoHype.
PogChamp is KomodoHype. Remove Pog!
Of course, Aiden is in there. Aiden, the number one KomodoHype advocator.
Won! We won! We won! We won! We won!
Code Miko has been banned. We still don't know what it is. Improving his English.
Complete Key for Schools Students Book by David McKeegan. Published by Cambridge University Press and Cambridge Assessment English 2019. This recording is copyright.
The MCA, baby. Hey, at least you won't be going to fucking jail. So does dad wants to steal his girlfriend?
Does you dad know about your blow up girl? Oh, my girlfriend? You seen the sex doll, Dad?
Yeah, I'm going to take that with me.
Okay.
I'm going to put that in my passenger seat of my truck.
Ooh.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take her for a ride. She needs to see the world.
I just like it because I want to see people's faces when they're passing me on the road.
And you can get in the Hove lane or whatever it's called. The high occupancy vehicle lane.
I really do. Okay, yeah, that's my girlfriend. And I want to see the looks on their faces.
This is so sweet, dude. Can you just take rats are out?
See, I don't really do this because I like falling down. I do this because I like making chat feel big. I do this for you.
I will
so
never.
that you still get to feel superior. Well, I take all your money.
True.
See, I don't really do this because I like falling down.
What happens when you offer Nick and Melina an omelet?
We'll see if anyone wants a cheese omelet, because I want the ham and cheese omelet.
Oh, okay.
That's mine.
That's yours.
Nick, Melina, you want a cheese omelet?
What?
I can hear y'all.
Were you right? Were you right?
Basically, yeah, I'm right. Nick says he can't eat cheese, and Melina's like, eat it. It's his first omelet. He's like, shut the fuck up. I don't.
Shit, it's.
Wait.
Basically, yeah, I'm right. Nick says he can't eat cheese, and Melina's like, eat it. It's his first omelet. He's like, shut the fuck up. I don't.
Shit, it's not. It's a pretty good looking omelet.
All right, Melina's fasting, and Nick can't eat cheese.
Oh my God, they're yelling at each other.
Literally, by asking if they wanted a cheese omelet, I caused them to fight.
What have I started?
Yeah. No, I already knew it would be an issue. I already knew.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Okay, you're on your own.
We'll see if anyone wants a cheese omelet.
When you play WoW for too long, Omega lol.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Isn't that a good amount of cheese?
That's it's the cheese omelet, so there's nothing else in it.
Oh, it's a cheese omelet. Okay, so we're doing a full-on cheese.
It's just a cheese omelet, so there's not going to be anything else in it except cheese.
Do I want to kind of AOE a little bit?
Huh?
Do I want to spread more?
No, no, that's fine because it's going to.
Yeah, AOE damage on the cheese.
It's going to fold over anyway.
Oh, okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, you put it in the middle. Like...
Spanish streamer compare HasanAbi little head meme.
Tener la cabeza pequeña. The meme of this guy is having small head. What the fuck? My meme is the contrary. This is his meme. My meme is the contrary. Big head. And big cojones. But he's small head, me, big head. So we are like
big
the
cojones.
water and the oil. El agua y el aceite. The opposite, not contrary, sorry. the opposite meme in my channel, big head. He, small head, okay? And speaks about politics. That's good. Smart content, because here, you know.
Ah, he doesn't know.
And then down the ladder.
He's gonna fall.
All right, here we go. Oh, no! I'm wounded! I need assistance!
Wait.
I need medical attention!
Wait, he's Scottish?
Right, I'm in great danger of death! Just take a deep breath! I need help!
His character is Scottish?
I really need some... Go. And then...
Facebook accidentally invited him to L8 PD. Nice. Hello, Hasan. You never responded to my previous inquiry about playing Hitman 3 on Wednesday. This would be a much needed break from the world of Rust for both you and your audience. This will allow a replenish of interest in Rust that will lead to future Prime content. Also, imagine all the new access you could do all on global assassination missions. Hitman tomorrow? Maybe. My answer is Hitman tomorrow, maybe. And also, Weeby is, of course, as you all know, the #1 advocate for gaming in this channel. I mean, he has fought so hard for gamers' rights and gamers' advocacy on this channel that it came back to bite him in the ass, as you can see. Mitch Jones pays for homeless person's pizza.
Can I pay and leave? My name is Mitch Jones.
Mitch Jones.
Hey, nice to meet you guys.
I'm working today.
It's okay. Whatever they want. You guys want full pizza or pepperoni?
You want
Yeah.
pay for them?
Yeah, yeah.
Large.
Large, yeah.
Large, extra large, or medium?
Extra large. Aren't you guys hungry?
Sure, I got it.
Extra large.
Extra large.
Hey.
Wow, Morgan being his mod has really improved his outlook on the world. Minecraft streamer finishes his creation. What?
Now put it back to the state. Stop! Okay.
What mod pack or mod are you using?
Oh God. What was that? Not surprising that a game created by Notch, nonetheless, would have such a feature, by the way. Yeah, I did not see that coming. It's a mod, but still. What was he trying to do? It's a mod, not vanilla. Excuse you losing it playing Valorant?
Man, this... Oh my god! Man, it's a constant load of bullshit. One enemy.
The funniest thing is, when he's playing fucking Rust, like regular Rust, he's at 100. Always. When he's playing Valorant, his heartbeat like lowers and only peaks at like 85. 85 is the lowest I've ever seen him on a Rust. Either he's off the juice today, or I don't know what the fuck's going on. Tina reacts to Tina.
Wow. Okay. Have fun anyway. Go crewmates. Woo. That's all right. That's okay. We're gonna win it anyway. Go crewmates. Woo. Give me a C. C. Give me an R. R. Give me an E. E. Give me a W. W. Give me an M. M. Give me an A. A. Give me a D. D.
Why did I just forget what letter came after?
Give me an E.
E.
Give me an S. S. Go crewmates. Woo. Okay, crewmates.
Almost. Spidacy. Can you tell? Okay, I obviously haven't seen it that much because I don't have it memorized to a T. Wait, you guys are giving me the letters. Thanks. I totally forgot how to spell crewmates for a second there. Wow. Okay.
I don't know what's going on. Report the Clipper? I feel like it's very different vibes. Very different vibes from what goes on in this stream than what goes on in those streams. And by the way, to each their own. It seems like fun and cute happens at other places. Great. Awesome. No fun here? No, we have fun, but our fun is like... This is our fun, okay? Hold on. Like, this is... Here, I'm gonna show you this real quick. Like, this is what some people's streams are like.
Okay, have fun anyway. Go crewmates. Woo! That's all right. That's okay. We're gonna win it anyway. Go crewmates. Woo! Give me a C. C. Give me an R.
Okay, so that is one vibe. This is our vibe, okay?
Yeah!
That is what you tune into with my stream. If you want to get a perfect summarization of the differences, this is my kind of fun. And you know, to each their own. There's no problem with either. Last time I did this, it ended stream. Pro streamer does it again.
I have the same tower case as you. My two daughters love the rainbow lighting option. Yeah, it's fun, right? To be honest, I very rarely ever look at the front because I'm pretty sure there's a button on top. I have to be really careful because the last time I pressed anything, I accidentally turned off my computer during the middle of a stream. But I'm pretty sure this is...
I think that computers should not be so easy to turn off. I've done this before as well. HasanAbi humbly reacts to a $2,500 donation.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Bro, we're out here playing in Rustopia. HasanAbi literally did Rust in the real world. Like, she built a fucking grocery store in the real world.
Oh my god, thank you so much. Oh my god, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh my god.
Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you! Thank you!
Hot chubby fans are more giving than the Democratic Party in the United States.
Thank you! Oh,
She's got a $2,500 donation. Democrats won't even let you have your own money back in the form of $2,000 checks total. Or more than $2,000 checks, rather. Sorry, I misspoke. $2,000 extra dollars. My man said not funny.
Thank you so much. So many moves.
Just a small business owner, bro. Someone walled off the gamble camp. I saw this earlier. Can I just say, look at this motherfucker's hotbar, dude.
Why is there a wall here all of a sudden? What is this wall that's here?
Vigor.
What is this wall?
He made like 40 grand last night or something. Apparently, like I tuned in for a strip. He won 41K in one gamba, 2 gambas he did at the same time. I know. He's such a degenerate, dude. He's such a fucking degenerate that literally he went to gamble by himself. No one, I think, or maybe Buddha was there because he's also a fucking degen. But he went to gamble with, I think, Buddha maybe. And he was just sitting there putting money into 2 different places so he could max out